It's the two greatest wars in sports. Game 7. On one side, it is familiar territory, as a lot has changed since the last time that the Golden State Warriors blew a 3-1 series lead. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and head coach Steve Kerr are the holdovers from that 2016 NBA Finals, where the Cleveland Cavaliers not only stunned the Warriors, but also all of basketball, completing the first ever 3-1 series comeback in the grandest stage of the NBA. This time around, the Houston Rockets, a young and feisty team led by Alperen Sengun and Draymond Green, could be the first team in NBA history to complete 3 separate 3-1 series comebacks. They did it before in 1995 against the Phoenix Suns during the Hakeem Olajuwon era, and 2015 against the Los Angeles Clippers in the James Harden era. Both teams split the first 2 games of the series. The Warriors took Game 1, 95-85 on Curry's 31-point match, 12-19 shooting. Game 2 was taken by the Rockets. Draymond Green made 8 threes for a 38-point night. Alperen Sengun added a 17-point, 16-rebound double-double. Then the Warriors won the next 2, 104-93 in Game 3 and 109-106 in Game 4. In the former, Curry had 36 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists, with 5 threes. In the latter, Jimmy Butler, who missed all of Game 3 and exited Game 2 with an injury, 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists while sinking all 12 of his free throws in the latter. 3 Rockets had at least 24 points in a 131-116 Game 5 victory. Fred VanVleet with 26, Amen Thompson with 25, and Dillon Brooks with 24, while limiting Curry and Butler to a combined 21 points. The Rockets also limited the Warriors to 3 field goals in the fourth quarter of Game 6 before the starters were pulled from Golden State. VanVleet put up 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, with 6 threes to force this deciding game. Sengun, on the other hand, had 21 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. The stakes could not be any higher. In the meantime, where this game is about to start, there's another game that's going on, another Game 7, that on the NHL side. Jordan Kyrou and Matthew Joseph opened the scoring for the St. Louis Blues. Kyrou from Colton Parayko and Pavel Buchnevich 110 into the first. Joseph unassisted. And Cole Perfetti has made it a 1-goal game, 11:41 at the second period. Kyle Connor and Neil Pionk the assists. There is no better feeling than a Game 7. And it appears that the Indiana Pacers are going to be upsetting the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals series. So the playoffs Conference Semifinals begins tonight, but before the league moves on, 2 Game 7s loom large on the schedule. The Oklahoma City Thunder and Minnesota Timberwolves made quick work of their first round opponents, but the other 2 West series have proven to be the most competitive of the opening round. The Los Angeles Clippers forced the Game 7 in Denver of a 111-105 victory over the Nuggets. They could not keep that up on the road, as the Nuggets rolled to a 120-101 victory to face the Oklahoma City Thunder. A masterclass for the starting 5. Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Christian Braun, and Michael Porter Jr. The Rockets trailed 3-1 in this series, keeping their season alive with a 131-116 victory in Game 5, where they were up by as much as 31 points, and then a 115-107 win at Golden State, in which they limited the Warriors to just 3 baskets before the starters were pulled. So there are many questions here. The Game 7 experience for the Warriors has to be a supreme advantage. Curry and Draymond have played in 5 Game 7s. Kerr has coached 4, and Jimmy Butler has played 4. What they have to do is solve the Houston zone defense and free up Curry on the offensive end. He had 29 points in Game 6, but only 13 in the second half when he shot 4 of 13. Both Steph and Draymond are 3-2 all-time in Game 7s. The last time they were here, they won big at Sacramento in their last Game 7 in 2023, with Curry exploding for 50 points. The Golden State Stars have averaged 32.6 points in Game 7 in his career, 4th most by any player in NBA history, behind only Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan. For Jimmy Butler, he'll have to add another chapter to the playoff Jimmy legacy. He's been largely neutralized here so far. He has fallen shy of the 20-point per game average in this postseason. So far, he's averaged 18 points per game. In the games that he played in the regular season for Golden State, he's averaged 17.9 points per game. So he's largely settled into the second option role for Golden State, as they're the more experienced team, but also the older team. The Warriors need to get Steph and Jimmy more offensive help. A third scorer has to step up. Brandon Podziemski, Buddy Hield, or Moses Moody hitting timely outside shots to break that zone. Draymond also have to play like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate after he finished third in voting behind Dyson Daniels and DPOY winner Evan Mobley. They have to keep their turnovers down and get a hold on the red-hot Fred VanVleet. On top of that, they could use a wild card. Steve Kerr said that everything is on the table for Game 7. And that possibly includes Jonathan Kuminga seeing some playing time, where he's going to be the ultimate wild card. He has to play a lot in this series. Ime Udoka has preached the importance of consistency, playing the right way, making the simple plays over and over. Nothing has changed from that standpoint. Houston gave Golden State a hard time when utilizing double big lineups, predominantly deploying Alperen Sengun and Steven Adams on the court at the same time, featuring some zone looks out of necessity, according to Ime, to protect some matchups there. Surprisingly, they employed some zone defense with the sharpshooter Curry on the floor. Udoka said, quote, "Our activity up top is great, and the principles of obviously Curry and recognizing where he is in the zone. It takes a lot of communication. If we stay with him, we fill the spots behind it." The Warriors are going to look for ways in Game 7 to make the Rockets play when employing those schemes with Curry on the floor. Houston needs to continue imposing their stiff physicality on the older and banged up Warriors, while continuing to win at paint scoring and second chance points. Ime talks about how Houston's mantra of turning defense into offense is beneficial, which often allows them to get out and run. They scored 22 points off 17 Warrior turnovers in Game 6. That puts the onus on guys like Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks, and Jalen Green. They need to be key to rack up the fast break points. Houston's usage of double big lines to have Sengun and Adams has been a defining element. The Warriors managed to win Game 4 despite being outscored by 18 points in the 22.5 minutes that Sengun and Adams played together. With everything working out in Game 5, Ime didn't need to use his two centers as much, but they were plus 8 in 13 minutes. In the fourth quarter of Game 6 was the biggest stage for Sengun and Adams. They shared the court for nearly the entire frame before both teams pulled their starters. The double bigs were plus 9 in that span. And this time, Ime didn't blink when Steve Kerr intentionally fouled Adams. A change for Game 4, when Ime pulled Adams and didn't bring him back until the final 2 minutes, when intentional fouls away from the play are treated like a technical foul. He went 9-16 from the line on intentional fouls, and Sengun managed to rebound 2 of his misses, translating into 13 total points on 8 possessions, which is good for a whopping 162.5 offensive rating. The challenge here for the Warriors is that the Rockets have been able to use Adams, blocking shots at a career-high rate in this series. Sengun in a hybrid defense that keeps the defender in Curry's airspace at all times. Curry still shook loose for 29 points and 6 threes in Game 6, but he shot just 9-23 and committed 5 turnovers. Ime has been finding new lineup combinations that work well, and the Warriors coaching staff can't seem to figure out the best 5-some on the other hand. Kerr stated that Gary Payton to the second Game 6 needed to improve the team's point of attack defense on VanVleet, but the Rockets did not worry about him as a three-point shooter like Brandon Podziemski. Besides Curry, the Warriors' other 4-star shot combined 3 of 18 from 3. But Payton's not going to be a worry in this game because he has been ruled out with an illness. And such, he has been ruled out. So, a new hope has been delivered to Houston. Will the Empire strike back, or will it be the return of the Jedi? May the 4th be with all of you, to everyone listening along, and happy May 4th to all the Star Wars fans out there. Getting ready to go with the starting 5s. So we begin with the Golden State Warriors, as they're the 7th seed in the West. Starting 5, they're projected to be Steph Curry, Brandon Podziemski, Buddy Hield, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. It's a small ball lineup for the Warriors. We're just moments away from tip-off. The bench players, the first ones off the bench are Pat Spencer, Moses Moody, Guy Santos, Kevon Looney, and Quinton Post. But Steve Kerr said that everything is on the table, which means that Jonathan Kuminga could also be used. For the Rockets, their starting 5 looks like this. For the 2nd seed in the West, Fred VanVleet, Draymond Green, Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks, and Alperen Şengün. Off the bench, Aaron Holiday, Reed Shepherd, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, and Steven Adams. Also telling that double big lineup between Şengün and Adams has worked out wonders. And there have been big games off the bench for Jabari Smith Jr. leading the way. Shepherd has been sparingly used as this is a 9-man unit. As is official, the Indiana Pacers have stolen Game 1 at Cleveland. Final score, 121-112. And leading the charge is the double point guard duo of Andrew Nembhard and Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton with 22 points, 13 assists, 3 blocks on 9 of 15 shooting. Nembhard with 23 points on 7 of 10 shooting. He had 6 assists. A pair of 17-point nights from Pascal Siakam and Aaron Nesmith. 8 rebounds each. Nesmith 5 of 8. Siakam 6 of 15. 4 assists for Siakam. To add on to that, for Cleveland, it's 33 points from Donovan Mitchell, who has to be the most important player in this series. 13 of 30, so it was not really an efficient night for him despite leading the charge scoring-wise, but when you take a lot of shots, you're bound to get more points onto the basket. Ty Jerome with 21 off the bench, 8 assists, 8 of 20, so he's been one of the top performers off the bench. 20 points for Evan Mobley on 9 of 13, with 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. And 12 points for Jared Allen, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. So that is the final score. And meanwhile, the other Game 7 that's going on right now, the St. Louis Blues lead the Winnipeg Jets 2-1. Both of the Blues' goals came in the first period. Jordan Kyrou and Matthew Joseph. Cole Perfetti scored on the power play for Winnipeg in the second period. Kyle Connor and Neil Pionk. It's just the second Game 7 in Jets franchise history for this iteration of the Jets. This one relocated from Atlanta when they were the Thrashers. The other Game 7 they played was against the Nashville Predators in 2018 in the Western Conference semifinal. It's the first Game 7 from the Jets to be played at home ice. Connor Hellebuyck is 13 of 15, Jordan Binnington 13 of 14. In this mini goaltending rivalry, Hellebuyck and Binnington know each other well. 2019, they faced off against one another in the Western Conference quarterfinals. When it's the Blues prevailing in 6 games, the road team won the first 5 games in that series. The Blues took 2, the Jets took 2. The Blues took Game 5 at Winnipeg Ice before taking Game 6 at home. They faced off against one another in the Four Nations face-off. Hellebuyck on Team USA won the round-robin match 3-1, while Binnington on Team Canada won the championship. Canada is 3-2 in overtime, with Binnington making big save after big save in that overtime period. Twice on Austin Matthews, once on Brady Tkachuk. And Connor McDavid netting the winner in overtime on the feed for the corner from Mitch Marner. So, as all of this is going on, we are getting set to go here. As the Warriors are getting set, they have utilized a lot of small ball lineups in the Western Conference quarterfinals. As Curry does his warm-up routine, jumping around. It's not like this song from House of Pain, but everyone's gonna jump up, and jump down. Well, how excited he is to play in the Game 7. The last time he played in the Game 7, he dropped 50 on the Sacramento Kings in 2023. And earlier tonight, it was the Pacers defeating the Cavaliers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Halliburton and Nembhard leading the way to survive a Donovan Mitchell masterclass to get Riot up front. Game 7, how are you doing, Riot?
Hello, how are you?
Doing good. I'm good.
Who's not available for the Warriors? Santos, I think you said?
Peyton.
Oh, Smith. Okay, Gary Payton. All right.
And so yeah, he's out sick.
Yeah. What a 2 games by Houston. I mean, we'll see. This is the decisive game, obviously. We'll see if they can continue with the performance in Game 5 and 6.
That defensive to offense matchup was living huge for Houston in those last 2 games, and they capitalized off of such. That fourth quarter of Game 6, Richard Jefferson noted on the ESPN broadcast that if you're the Rockets, you need to be up by at least double digits on the Warriors in the final 3, maybe 4 minutes. Because if you're up by 2 possessions or 3 possessions, the Warriors are right there and they're breathing down your necks in that spot. You have to be up by double digits if you're the Rockets in the closing minutes.
For sure, especially if you have Steve Kerr. Just knock it down from whatever.
Yep.
But he didn't. He was off in the game 6, which was good for the Rockets because he missed quite a few shots and had a few turnovers as well, which helped as well, of course. But I'm very happy for Steven Adams. He's been right there after like all those injuries and stuff that he suffered last few years.
And he's making his presence felt. He's making his presence felt with the Rockets on the double big lineup. Even with the Warriors trying to do the hack-a-shack strategy on Adams, which in the end didn't work at all. Adams has made his presence felt in the fourth quarter of Game 6, and it paid off big time for Ime Udoka and company.
Yeah, he knocked down quite a few. He was decent from the line, for sure.
Yeah, 9-16 from this stripe, so that hack-a-shack strategy might go so-and-so for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But very big win for Indiana, by the way. That's kind of like, wow.
Yep, a very big win, which sets up this point. The Rockets have come back from 2 previous 3-1 series deficits. No team in NBA history has came back from 3-1 deficits. And they're seeing the final stats between Indy and Cleveland. Well, Darius Garland didn't play in that game. He's out of a toe injury. We'll have to check on his status for if he's going to be available anytime in the near future between the Cavs and Pacers. But nonetheless, a huge series between these two. And they just have to go across the state. Just crossing the Ohio-Indiana border.
Yeah, pretty close. But yeah, Garland, if Garland doesn't be a factor in this series, that's huge, for sure.
He should be back sometime soon. We don't know how long it's going to take, though, but this series has been tight and physical. And, of course, teams are pointing fingers at each other, complaining of foul play, and, oh, this team is dirty. Well, I think this series is the definition and the embodiment of a tight, physical series.
Yeah.
And how about Fred VanVleet? The last 3 games that he's played in this series, he's averaged north of 25 points per game, the type of production that the Rockets need to see from their team leader.
Definitely. We mentioned that in the first couple games. Like, VanVleet was not there. But, of course, a player like VanVleet, who have experienced it before and knows all about it, it was probably like predicted for him to step up like he did in the last couple games. So whether he's gonna continue or not, that's a question.
And as we bring in Ian on board here, as this Game 7 is about to get underway, your Blues are currently playing in their Game 7 against the Winnipeg Jets. A night of nervousness around.
Oh, this is Alec, my man. There, 2 periods have gone by. Lose up 3-1. Goals scored. I told you and John yesterday. Their top line had to perform, and who else but Jordan Kyrou, a minute 10 seconds in, gets them up 1-0. The next 2 goal scorers for the Blues, Matthew Joseph and Radek Faksa for their first of the postseason. Blues up 3-1, and it's still not enough for me. Foot on the throat. Just keep pushing, boys.
You know, I'll be rooting for the Blues the rest of the way. I want to have them make my prediction of the Jets winning this series wrong. And
oh, I'd love that too.
we're seeing the Warriors use the same starting line that they used in the past few games. They're sticking with Buddy Hield in the starting 5 and putting Moses Moody on the bench. Warriors going with their black uniforms on the road. Rockets going with their City Edition jerseys here in Game 7. Everyone's pumped up. They're having the throwback uniforms out here for Houston. Those that give the vibes of the Hakeem Olajuwon era. Back when they won it in 1994. And in 1995, when they added Clyde Drexler to the team. And then sweeping the Orlando Magic as a 6th seed in the Western Conference. It's Game 7 of the Western Conference quarterfinals. The winner advances to face the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tony Brothers, James Williams, Kevin Scott are officials for tonight's game as Şengün and Green take center court. And Williams tips it up. Şengün with the opening possession. Let's go! Draymond Green controls the pace at the left side with Curry on his face. Go over to Şengün. Back to Green. Şengün hooks one back. No, he fakes the hook back. The spin! And couldn't flush it down. Şengün grabs it. 10 on the shot clock. Spinning around Draymond. Another half spin. Another hook. And the opening foul. It's going to be a turnover against the Rockets. Might have been one too many steps. And yes, it is Radek Faksa on the third goal for the Blues. The assist from Nathan Walker, who's come alive here late in this series. Already up to 3 goals in games 5 and 6. Podziemski from Butler. Jimmy Butler needs to have himself a big game in this series because he's averaged 18 points per game. Inside, Draymond gets the opening bucket on the layup. Right inside, the Warriors know their experience is going to be a huge benefactor if they want to get back at the Rockets. For many of these, their first ever Game 7 as Draymond Green pulls up inside. It was the body in the way. Curry, for the far side is Jimmy, who kicks it out. Curry, quick movement. Right corner, Hield is closed up by Thompson. Podziemski forced back deep as he swings it over to Draymond Green. Has Şengün on him. And here's Podziemski with the quick feet. Podziemski doubled up. It's Draymond wide open. Kicks it out. And through. He has the first 5 points of Game 7. Draymond did have himself a 34-point night in Game 7 against the Cavaliers in the NBA Finals 9 years ago. As crazy as it sounds, VanVleet answers back on a mid-range shot. Ime Udoka and company think that it can be red hot. VanVleet staying with Draymond. Brooks, with his man as Podziemski, pumps on Şengün, steps back and fires a free. And answers. Winner go home here. Warriors immediately jump to an 8-2 lead. Still early in this game, we're in the opening 150. Thompson delivers to Şengün. Şengün watched one-on-one by Green. VanVleet opens up. Podziemski screened, and VanVleet bobbles it up. There is a foul on the touch. As Podziemski picking up his first foul of this game as he is having a word with Tony Brothers. So the Warriors won Game 1 of this series as this is an inbound for Şengün. Draymond Green trying to get open is Dylan Brooks instead. Brooks steps back and connects it. The first 2 buckets for the Rockets are mid-range jumpers. Hield closing inside, lays it in. Off the attempted block on Brooks. 10-4, the Warriors jump out in front. Backing up is Jalen. Podziemski staying with Green, closing at the left hash. Moves it back out for Brooks. Dylan Brooks spins around, tries to get the open lane, and this one rolled out. Draymond gets the rebound, and it's delivered to the far side for Curry. Back over to Green. Draymond Green to Steph Curry. 2 reliable old guards. Curry hasn't scored yet, but his guys have. Thompson tried to snag it away. This one bounced out, and it was last touched by Curry. Almonds having that serious look on that face. Why so serious? As it's VanVleet moving up through the middle of the court. Slowing down the pace. Houston Summit at the mid-court logo. Şengün at the right hash trying to spin around Draymond. Hooks one up. Gets the putback to fall. Alperen Şengün will just not quit. Curry starts up for Draymond, who has Şengün on his face. Draymond Green trying to find the open man as Buddy Hield is closed up. He'll deliver it to him with Jalen Green on his face. Curry quickly matched by VanVleet. VanVleet Watching him entice. Curry tried to take it away. Curry breaks free. Puts one up. And too far. This one bounced up and is picked up by Draymond Green. What an excellent defensive masterpiece by VanVleet. VanVleet gets the pass across from Jalen. Podziemski watching him in tight. Şengün setting up for VanVleet to move up. And he lofts it up for Şengün. Şengün trying to find some open space. Green tried to get open. Instead, Şengün will take it up himself. Şengün, floater! It's a 2-point game here, and LP, in the opening 4 minutes, is up to 4 points. Fours are crazy. Podziemski for Hield in his winner-go-home game. 5th career Game 7 for Curry and Draymond Green. A free-pointer for Draymond. And he's up to 8 points. He has 2 free-pointers to swish down. Let's see how much this can carry on for the Warriors if the Rockets can answer back. VanVleet, who's been a thorn on the Warriors side. Amen Thompson, backdoor. He gets around the Warriors defense and puts it through. It's punch, counter punch here, and the Rockets up to 8 points in the paint. Jimmy Butler, seeking to add to his playoff Jimmy legacy. Short on the mid-range shot. It is Thompson coast to coast and is tugged by Buddy Hield. It's a transition take foul on Hield, who formerly was with the Indiana Pacers and Sacramento Kings. So Thompson's going to get over to the line. He has been below average from the free throw line. He needs to get that going. Tugged by the jersey, and that's what prompted the foul to be called. So Thompson is shooting 63.3% from the stripe. It's going to be Fred VanVleet shooting it, and he is perfect. He has not missed from the free throw line over the last several games. Overall in this series, VanVleet, he is actually perfect from the line. So he has yet to miss a free throw, and here it is. As we talked about in the open ride, Steven Adams, the double big lineup is entering. Yes, it is. Şengün and Adams on the court at the same time. Plus 39 when these two share the court. Which prompts the question, when will we see the hack-a-shack on Adams? Because the Warriors at the point that in several games, here's Adams who opens up with Butler on him. Adams, deep hook. This one bounced out, but that was a far-range hook. That could have been fired in from mid-range. But you know, Aquaman is not afraid to take those shots. Draymond, in this 2-point game, he already has 8 of the 13 Warrior points. On the far wing, it is Butler. VanVleet's on him. Kuminga gets open through some space. And this layup doesn't go. The second one is shanked. Adams the rebound. Steve Kerr said everything is on the table. That included Jonathan Kuminga getting some minutes here. Thompson for Adams. And then back. Has Curry on his face. Adams sets the screen. Thompson from in tight. Short. Rebound juggled and grabbed by Jimmy. 6:14 to go here in the opening quarter. And already Dillon Brooks playing defense on Jimmy Butler. Checks past the screen. Curry to free on the way. Bounced up and out. Şengün grabs the rebound. And already defense is making its name here. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. We're halfway here. VanVleet trying to lose Podziemski. Gets the screen from Şengün and fires a mid-range shot. He ties it. Freddie has been red hot. Up the far side, it is Jimmy. How can he counter Freddie? Playoff Jimmy is one thing. Playoff Freddie is another thing. But these two can match up evenly well. Draymond Green from deep. That's his first miss. And now the Rockets will take it the other way. Level at 13. Here is VanVleet who parks up. VanVleet trying to get free of Podziemski. Finds the open space for Thompson and swings it back. VanVleet delivers it over. Here's the hook from Adams. Rolls out. One-handed rebound by Green. With 5:10 to go, it seems the momentum has shifted towards the Rockets. And we have not had a whistle here. Here is Butler, frees up open space. Podziemski for free, left wing side. Overshot it. And Şengün pulls it out with one hand. Şengün up the far side. Here's VanVleet with Curry on his face. VanVleet trying to break free. VanVleet steps back. And it goes back for Şengün. Brooks. Brooks drives it. Adams. Ill-advised pass. Trying to keep it, but it's picked up by the Warriors. Curry up the far seam. Here is Kuminga. Donovan Kuminga swings it back. Here's Podziemski, who's boxed out. Draymond Green decides not to shoot the deep free. There is open space, passes up on it. Jimmy Butler towards the bucket. Butler kicks it out. Extra pass. Podziemski is all closed out. Podziemski on the right corner. Jimmy has to get one off in time and delivers it. A turnaround jumper from free. They'll have to check it. But Jimmy Butler, who needs to get going from free, needed that one because he is shooting less than 30% from deep. The Warriors are 4-6 in that category. The Rockets have yet to shoot a free. Inside, bounced out, rebound juggled, and grabbed by Curry. That was Dylan Brooks with the last layup attempt. Podziemski moving up to the arc and kicked it back out to the approaching Green. Rebounds tipped up. Off the pass, and here goes to the Rockets. Fred VanVleet running free. Bounced out, and Curry. And here's the heave. Jimmy Butler. No touchdown, as there was a tackle before the goal line, and such will lead to a timeout. Butler stopped with VanVleet running up to him, trying to get that one away. And so we'll head to break with 3:42 left in the first quarter. I'm Alec Nava, joined here by Ian Genji, Raed Buttrus. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, a fast start to the Rockets and Warriors game. The Blues and Jets are going to shortly be in the third period. Blues up 3-1. So Alec, how do your Rockets look at the beginning?
So far, tight defense has been the name of this game. But the storytelling is we have not fired a three-pointer so far. Stay with your game because the three-pointer has not been our game in the regular season. But if there's a three-point shooter that we can fully trust, it's Fred VanVleet. He's the focal point. He's been the focal point of this offense in the last few games, and his leadership has been key over the last few games. He's the calm presence of what has been a young and physical team. And we need to keep up that physicality on the old and banged up Warriors. Because the last few games, the Warriors, they looked banged up. And the youth is starting to show here for the Rockets. That energy needs to be shown here, Ian.
I agree.
And yeah, I mean, when Adams on the floor offensively for the Rockets, it's kind of like not easy for them because they go to Adams. It's obviously not known for like his scoring ability. But so they have to find like a solution because he missed a couple of shots. But what I noticed, like, it's kind of like not a good start for Curry, which is good news for the Rockets. It doesn't get going so far. It was a couple of three-pointers. That's big, but it's very important to Rockets stay close early and not. I mean, after it was like 82. I mean, of course, like it was just like minute 50, but it's important to keep the game close in terms of like the score.
Yeah. And given last time around we saw it as a do or die game with the Warriors. Last time around it was a low scoring game. That was in the NBA Cup tournament where we won 90-91 on a pair of free throws from Draymond Green, where you had to come back and score the final 7 points. But this time around, it's going to be much tighter and much closer, especially since a lot has changed since the last time around. In that time span, the Warriors added Jimmy Butler. DeAnthony Melton's no longer on the team, and there are a lot of changes on that Warriors group. Back then, the Warriors were relying on a 12-man rotation, but Curry was carrying that offense. The defense was there for the Warriors. Now the Warriors got a secondary piece on that offense in Jimmy Butler. And Brandon Podziemski has been up and down for Golden State. He's still good.
That is right.
But we need to account for everything. And that includes Jimmy, because when he can get to the line, he's been normally sharp. When Jimmy gets to the line, he's been sharp.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and this is going to be the exact case, because Jimmy's going to shoot two from the free throw line. This series has been tight and intense, known for its physicality. Draymond Green, of course, being the pest on the Warriors, and Dylan Brooks matching that exact energy on the Rockets. He's been a part of, these two have clashed previously in the playoffs. Brooks was a part of the Memphis Grizzlies last time around. In this series, we've seen a total of 15 technical fouls, 4 flagrant fouls, and an ejection.
Wow. That's very intense for sure.
That's how chippy it has been. And now the Rockets' 2 main bench pieces, Jabari Smith and Tari Eason, have come onto the court for the first time. Here's Butler on the first free throw. And a rare miss from him. He's been perfect in Game 4. We made all 12 of them.
Smith and Eason might be better offensively. So maybe score a few.
And Butler makes a second one. So that puts the Warriors up by 4. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so Brooks is out, right?
So it seems that Brooks subbed out. Draymond has subbed out. And still on the court is VanVleet, who has looked sharp in this series. VanVleet trying to cycle the play around. Feeds it to Jabari. Now back for Fred with 7. Adams rushing up to set the screen on Moses Moody. He's come onto the court. VanVleet, deep 2. That one air ball. Thompson on the putback and lays it. A curveball for the Warriors defense as they did not anticipate Thompson getting the offensive rebound off the air ball. The Warriors have missed 7 of their last 9. This one tipped up. That's the stifling defense that the Rockets have employed. Here's Eason to Owen. Owen. This one, they're going to count it. It's an offensive goal 10 on the Warriors. Defensive goal 10, I meant.
Defensive, yeah.
Oh, just under 3 to go. Steve Kerr says enough is enough. We do not need any of these unnecessary blunders. Time out, I say. Time out.
Great intensity by the Rockets, for sure.
All right. So as we head back onto the break, the third period between the Blues and the Jets has just begun. And Ian, the Blues are headed to the power play. We have seen just 2 penalties so far in this game. Both teams have been very disciplined. The only penalties being Oscar Sundquist for slashing, which led to the Cole Perfetti power play goal, and Nikolai Ehlers tripping against Colton Parayko. But actually, this is a carryover power play for the Blues. They have had 1 minute and 30 seconds of power play time carrying on for the Ehlers penalty.
Fox has scored to put the Blues 3-1. So if they can catch this in, that would be perfect.
Yeah, it would.
What do you think of Nuggets win in Game 7? I mean, at the half, it's close, but it was quickly and Denver dominated. The third quarter.
This is the definition of a masterclass by the Nuggets. The Clippers could do nothing right around this Nuggets team. The starting 5 took over for Denver. When people question about how deep the Nuggets are going to go, they're comfortable riding their starting 5 all the way through. And every one of them delivered here. Aaron Gordon, 22 points. When people ask about how the Nuggets are going to get this out, well, here's Jokic to deliver 10 rebounds, 8 assists. And while he didn't get a lot on the score sheet with 16, he didn't need to, because for his standards, a 16-point game would be disappointing, but it's everyone else that matters. The Clippers focus a lot on Jokic. While Jokic focused, when Jokic was closed off, he went to his supporting cast. Jamal Murray, 16 points. Christian Braun, 21 points. Michael Porter Jr., 15 points. And even as I mentioned, Gordon, Russell Westbrook, who came off the bench, 16 points. That's a masterful effort from the main 6.
For sure. I think when Jokic is around 20 points or even less, that means he assisting a lot and the players are knocking down shots. Because when they're not knocking down shots, then that puts more pressure on Jokic to go score himself. And we get, defended by or, double team or something. So that's how it was for the Nuggets when they won. It was just a great team basketball. That's what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, team basketball of the utmost importance. Though I also want to note that when yesterday, when Ian and I were on John's broadcast, we're together with John for Game 7 of the Stars and the Avalanche, Kawhi Leonard, he put up 22 points in Game 7, yet here's the stat that confuses me. He was a minus 33.
Yeah, that's...
I don't really know how to equate that, but I will tell you this, Alec. My main team is the Thunder. I told you this, but if I had to have a second team that I want to win, it'd be the Nuggets, because all Westbrook is missing is a ring. He is a Hall of Fame player. I watched him during his triple-double runs. He is Hall of Fame worthy, and he deserves that respect.
Yeah.
For sure.
But Westbrook, just like James Harden, it's probably like they play too much individually. They're not
a lot of individual accomplishments.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
individual, you put a lot of pressure, on yourself in biggest of moments during the fourth quarter or something, where you got defended by two players, and you can't knock down every shot. You can't do it all by yourself. So that's the problem with Harden and Westbrook.
Oh, and back and forth, these two defenses are going at it as the Rockets, they held the Warriors in check. The Warriors did get a block on the previous possession as Şengün trying to do a half spin on Looney. With less than 2 minutes to go, he'll instead back up with 10. Şengün now starts up, trying to shake off Looney. Şengün has to put this off, and that's short. And Looney grabs his rebound, rushing in to take it. From the near side is Buddy Hield. Hield. With Butler on the bench, Curry is out there. Hield. Part of the starting line. It's actually Butler who's on the court. Catch and shoot for Moody. That hit the backboard, not the rim. And the Rockets will take this back up. 1:30 to go. And we can speak on the other Game 7 in more detail in the NBA. Draymond Green goes up, adjusts and lays it up. How about this from Draymond Green? And he gets the foul. Explosiveness from the young buck.
This is great.
Right on Jimmy Butler nonetheless.
For sure. Confidence, it's important. Knocking down a shot like that and getting a foul, that's really, it has to feel good.
Yeah, driving to the basket and laying this one inside. That's what the young Rocket needs. This rebound is tied up after a Green miss, and Curry will go back with this off the rebound. Draws a double team, frees up space for Looney. Now he gets it back, and he swings it backwards to Hield, catching to left corner. He answers. Warriors back up by 1 with 1:07 to go in the opening act. The Rockets will go back with Draymond Green. The Rockets missed on their only three-pointer. The Warriors are 5-9 in this department. And then moving up is Green for Adams. Steven Adams will look. There is a whistle. And then a little hesitation on the pass. That's going to be a travel. So Curry sees the blitz coming towards him, but sees the open Hield, and he goes for behind-the-back pass, a no-looker. That's beautiful stuff from the 37-year-old Curry. One Team USA, their 17th gold medal in the Olympics. 48 seconds to go in the first quarter. Hield across for Podziemski. Here's Green. Draymond Green at the center of it. Hield trying to open space up. Tari Eason gets screened. Hield staying with him. Another no-look pass. Here's Draymond from deep. That's missed. And Looney gets an offensive rebound. Curry, he can be electric here. Double rim. And Şengün jumps up for the rebound. Shot clock difference is 5.5 seconds. Draymond Green will hold on to it at the logo. Chance to take the lead here for the Rockets. He'll start up. Loses Hield for a moment. Now he'll blow by him. Draymond Green backs out again. Tari Eason on Curry. Eason gets met at the line. Keeping it in. Catch and shoot left wing side. That rimmed out. And Kevon Looney. Final seconds of the first quarter. Chance to go up by 4 here from the court. And it connects! Buddy Hield is not your buddy guy. It's 23-19 at the buzzer to end the first. He has 8 in the first quarter, and he wants to get the Warriors their 5th series win over the Rockets in as many tries. So that ends the first quarter as we go to break here. So in deeper detail on that Game 7 between the Nuggets and the Clippers, yeah, I want to touch back that Kawhi was minus 33 despite getting 22 points in that Game 7, which is puzzling enough. And I know James Harden is the living Jekyll and Hyde in the postseason, but minus 33 for Kawhi just feels wrong.
Yeah, before the series has started, given how the Nuggets were playing lately, I thought the Clippers had a shot, and they did. But the problem is, you can trust Kawhi Leonard, but players like James Harden, honestly, you can't trust that player. They don't deliver in the biggest moment. They're so inconsistent. That's why you can't win big games, like that.
So, yes, as I said, the living Jekyll and Hyde of the playoffs. Despite 13 assists, just 7 points on 2 of 8.
There you go, because the confidence is not there. Like he passes on, he even passes on some shots, because it's he's not confident enough to shoot a knockdown shot, take the decision, the important moment. And the fact that just taking 8 shots, that's also 2 of 8. That's what it's like 20% something.
That's not good enough.
No, obviously no. And that's not the first time. That's the thing. It's not the first time. When you have a 7-game series, if James Harden can go for 45 points in one game, but that's just one game. You have to become more consistent, right? And you can have only 45-point game and still lose. But you'd rather have more consistent. Rather be more consistent throughout the series, give yourself a shot of winning the series.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never been there. That's why some players are they say, they obviously, for their career, they probably deserve a ring or something. But that doesn't come easy. You have to get it. And if you're the main player, you have to perform big in these kind of moments.
In these moments that you need to show up in the clutch. Unfortunately, there was no clutch mode because the game was already out of hand. It was a complete shutdown of the Clippers.
Yeah, where was James Harden? Was Philadelphia, I think, before the Clippers?
Yeah, Philadelphia.
So, same thing. So that's what I'm talking about. He against I think it was the Celtics, where he had a monster game or two, but in Game 7 he just collapsed. Same thing, same pattern.
Your games 1 and 4, he delivered. But it's the same tale at the end. Şengün opens up at the point and then moves up. There's the hand check on Draymond Green, and that is the whistle. So we did see some earlier race wins today. They did see some racing action today. So Formula 1 saw Oscar Piastri win at the Miami Grand Prix and Joey Logano win at the AAA 400 at Texas Motor Speedway. So here it is Fred VanVleet, Game 7 of the Western Conference quarterfinal. Winner faces the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are waiting the winner of this series after taking out the LA Lakers in 5. Şengün has to get one off. This one rolled out. Shot clock is reset, but the Rockets will not get to it. On the near side is Jimmy Butler, who will pull up. And he's still looking for that opportunity. Jabari Smith's on him. Hield wants to open up a cross and does so. Hield down the lane on one leg. That's the old Dirk tactic. He's got the last 5 points for the Warriors. 25-19. Golden State leading this game. They are 3-2 in their last 5 Game 7s. On the right side, kick back out, VanVleet. The last time Jimmy Butler played a Game 7, he won that with the Miami Heat, avoiding a reverse sweep, which would have been the first one in NBA history. Dylan Brooks pulls up. Too far. The Rockets have not made a three-pointer. Brooks falls down, gets back up. Trying to open up space. It is Butler with Steven Adams on his face. Butler speeds down the right side. Kicks out to Quinton Post. Post will swing it back. Hield has VanVleet blitzing him. Post almost lost it for the moment. Gets to an open man as Draymond Green. Jimmy Butler gets open from deep. And that double rimmed out. That's bad luck there for Jimmy Butler. But nonetheless, the three-point shooting stats have not looked kind for him. VanVleet to an open Şengün. Closed out by Green. Şengün trying to spin around the hook. Floats it in. And the first points of the second quarter for the Rockets. They get back within 4.
Very important basket. The Rockets are struggling to score.
Yep. To open things up. Back door and the slam for Jimmy. Wants to add to that playoff Jimmy legacy. Gets the feed from Green as the Rockets were caught napping. Moving up for the middle, it is VanVleet. Smith gets it back over to him. Steven Adams gets the screen up front, and VanVleet hits the first free for the Rockets. So forget about 27 straight missed frees for Houston, because VanVleet has delivered the first three-pointer for H-Town. Hield. The Warriors have thrived from three-point range throughout the season. That's where they live and die by. Butler to an open Hield from deep. And answers back. And Buddy Hield. All of a sudden he's come alive here like he did in the third quarter of the NBA Cup game between these two teams here in this very venue. Şengün to an open Smith. Jabari Smith loses the ball as he tried to find Adams. Picks up the loose ball again. Smith. And he gets tackled. Jabari Smith got tackled when trying to make his way to the basket. 8:40 to go in the second quarter already. This is looking more like a football match than a basketball game.
It's a crazy opening to this one.
For 16 minutes, Owen, we're seeing a crazy game, and Smith is going to sub out. 30-24, the Warriors lead. They are 4 for 4 in their previous 4 playoff series against the Rockets. That was back in the Harden era, as Kevon Looney is going to check back in for Golden State. This is where getting the switches all around as we have mass substitutions. It is still 3-1 Blues over the Jets as the Blues are trying to put away the Jets tonight in Game 7.
The President's Trophy curse lives on.
VanVleet trying to open space up. He has Jimmy on his face, swings it over to an open Tari Eason, left corner free. In and out. Popped up in the air and is grabbed by Curry to prevent the offensive rebound from Eason. Curry trying to get around Thompson. He stays with him. Curry flings it open to Hield. Owen staying with him. VanVleet blitzing Curry. It's once again a double team. Gets it over to an open Looney. Adams reaches back to him. Looney floats one right inside. Through some tight defense, the Rockets did everything right. 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. The Warriors have opened up to a 9-5 opening in the second quarter. Thompson forced to the outside, going down towards the basket, and it's lost there. A little poke from Draymond, and Curry will restart. Curry to the inside for Looney. He gets rejected, but there's a foul. Owen Thompson defending. Curry hasn't scored yet, but he's been a playmaker tonight.
Sam struggled for the Rockets in the first, like it was in the first game too. Who's that player who can score few possessions in a row, for example? It's just being tough for the Rockets to score, really tough, which is going to be a problem if things continue because they're going to be down more than 10 points pretty soon.
As Looney made the first one, we'll have to see how the second one goes through. We'll have to see which big name scorer is going to show up here. We already know about VanVleet. As Amon Thompson gets back onto the court, the Rockets crowd here trying to intimidate Looney into missing the second free throw. It's on the way, and it bounced up. Thompson rushes to the ball, but in doing so, it gets taken out of bounds. He jumped up so high that he couldn't hold it. And so the Warriors will get extra life in this. The rush by Thompson as he tried to catch Podziemski out of bounds and getting open is Looney. That's a good rush from Amon, but right idea, wrong outcome. Up the middle, this is Jimmy, who gets blitzed, swings it back out. Moses Moody drives down, mid-range shot for him. That's too far. Thompson gets another rebound, and he'll lead the way through the near side. Thompson down the lane, gets driven out to the right side, on the wing. Thompson, with Podziemski getting forced to the inside by VanVleet. Thompson, on the right hash, trying to find an open man. It is there for VanVleet. VanVleet to the inside. Gets boxed out. VanVleet. That tough bucket didn't go. It'll stay with the Rockets after it bounced off of Jimmy. Timeout. It'll be a Rockets timeout. Houston ball when we return.
Man, Golden State's just been all over them in the past 7-8 minutes. It's crazy.
Maybe the Rockets have to shoot. I mean, not get deep into the 24 seconds. I'm not sure what the solution is here. It's been a little struggle to score, for sure. Is it that they go to Şengün more? But obviously, they probably are defending him really, really tight.
Şengün's been on the bench for the last few minutes. You want to get him back onto the court. Yes, that's the key here. If you want to get Şengün back onto the court, you get him out there. So probably a double big.
And get the confidence and try to knock a couple 3-pointers, like Draymond Green or VanVleet. It's just tough right now.
VanVleet especially, because he's been lighting up the 3-point lamp over the last few games. And you need him to continue doing that again. So far, it's just 5 3-point attempts for the Rockets. VanVleet has the only make.
Yeah.
And throughout, Curry is plus 13, despite not having a single point. Buddy Hield has led the way with 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. Curry is 0 for 4 from the field and 0 for 3 from deep.
Wow.
Yeah. Hield is a sharp shooter, for sure.
Yeah, and as is the case, when he's not scoring, he's making plays for others to score. Just like what I said with Jason Tatum with the Celtics. When he's not scoring, he's making plays for others. All right, so as it is 33-24, 5:51 to go in the third period between the Blues and Jets. We're monitoring that for the time being. Connor Hellebuck, 17 of 20. And Jordan Binnington, 19 of 20. Binnington's in line to take another win in this goaltending rivalry.
Well, Hellebuck will maybe be able to go to the Worlds if the Jets lose tonight. Play goalie for the States. Actually, we really don't want that.
This now brings up an interesting dilemma. Does Jake Ottinger start over Connor Hellebuck in the Olympics next year if Hellebuck struggles to continue in the brightest lights?
Very possible. Because right now they've got Swayman down there. And I think their other goalie's a college guy. But yeah, maybe Ottinger will jump up to that top position next year.
And so Ime Udoka challenged the last play, so as to deliver so that timeout was called. It was a challenge on the last play. It is successful. Yeah, the Warriors challenged it. The call was overturned about half the last touch. So Steve Kerr challenged it. And it is successful. So in the midst of that Rocket timeout. So the Warriors retain their timeout. And as such, we will see the Warriors gain the ball as VanVleet had the last touch, and it's Podziemski. Brandon Podziemski trying to put on the shake and bake with Jalen Green watching him. Moved up for Moody. Moody to the left side, and it's Looney inside, and it was a kick. A kickball violation. 6:46 to go here in the second quarter. So it was ruled a VanVleet foul. That's what Kerr challenged it for. 6:46 as Podziemski trying to open up. He'll go to the outside for Jimmy. Jimmy Butler tried to find some open space. Podziemski tried to get open. Butler down the left side for the left hash. Couldn't bank this one in. Tried to get a foul. Gonna do so, and Şengün takes it away. As the Warriors are getting back on defense. Şengün spins. Finds Thompson. It's met by Curry. Back door, and he'll shoot 2. This is something that Thompson needs to get better at because free throws have not been kind to him.
No, they have not.
Tried to cut to the inside. And as for the free throw rate, Thompson is 63.3%. When speaking of the free throw rate, Şengün 63.9%. Draymond Green 66.7% as he makes 1. And Şengün's out there. You can expect him to get a rebound if a free throw is missed. That was the case when Steven Adams missed some free throws in Game 6 of this series. He can go end-to-end to get a rebound to pick this one up. The second shot for Thompson, he nailed both. A rarity for him.
Wow.
So it's a 7-point game now. 6:27 to go here, second quarter, as Steph Curry leads the way for Brandon Podziemski. Moses Moody with Fred VanVleet on him. Thompson watches Jimmy Butler, and then inside is going coast to coast. Extra pass, left wing free on the way. It is too far. Rebound batted by Thompson and led it onto Green's arms. VanVleet. Houston needs to have a shot here. They have not on a make in the last 3:20. VanVleet is close stop by Jimmy, trying to free up open space. Finds Şengün. Here is Jalen. Boxed out and moving to the left side. Extra pass, right corner's Tari Eason. Yes, sir! Tari gets the second three-pointer for H-Town. Defense chance here at Toyota Center in this electric atmosphere. Jimmy passes up the open free with Tari Eason on him. Butler pump fakes once. He'll deliver back for Podziemski. He gets closed off. Jimmy too is closed off. 5 to shoot. They need to find open space. Jimmy's out for a mid-range jumper, and he delivers. Once again, a case of the Rockets doing everything right on defense. Jimmy's up to 8 points, 3 of 6 shooting. 5:15 to go as Eason double pumps and then goes across for Jalen, who drew a blitz with Jimmy on him. Şengün opens up and then swung back. And it's a fake swing back. Şengün down the lane. This one bumped up. Second effort. Şengün lost the handle. And the Warriors will go back. 35-29, they lead here with 4:52. Moving up here it is Butler. Lost it. And this one moved out. And they'll go to the Rockets. Bouncing off of Butler. It's another Warrior turnover. This Rocket defense is doing the yeoman's work. Let's go Rockets chance here. A sea of red here in Houston. 6-4, the points off turnovers in favor of the Warriors. Both teams have committed 4 turnovers each. Steve Kerr talked about minimizing turnovers for the Warriors. As Jalen Green fakes the pump, and here's Thompson. Passes up on the free, swings it back. Here's Green, who fires the free. Rimmed out, and the rebound's grabbed by Draymond Green. Moving back the other way, it is Hield with 4:22 to go. Draymond lead the way up. This layup bounces in with his left hand. Houston down by 8. VanVleet controlling the pace of the right wing. Draymond is up to 10 points, scoring 8 points in that first quarter. Pass swung up for Şengün. And Alperen Şengün looks to go inside. Can't find a lane as Podziemski gets him. VanVleet has to go by Hield. VanVleet lost it as he juggled it up in the air. Curry moves back. Will this circus streak continue? Podziemski drives inside. Kicked out is Curry, right corner. No! And strangely enough, he's missed all 4 of his free-pointers. But he's making plays for others. Moving up is VanVleet. Backdoor to Eason. Eason! Excellent defense from Draymond. And it's Curry. Moving back. Noticeably off his game, but he could be bound for an offensive explosion. And it's Podziemski to the inside. Floats it up. It's a 10-point lead here for the Warriors. 3:19 to go here in the second quarter, and the Rockets take a timeout. After back-to-back losses, the Warriors want to use their experience to their advantage, and so far they're doing so. 3:14 to go in the Jets season.
Struggle continues defensively for the Rockets.
Whew. All right, so the most recent goal was Radek Faksa from Nathan Walker, but this game stressed the importance that you need to win games on the road if you're Winnipeg. The fact that the home team won the first 6 games showed everything, because in a moment, the Blues could snag that momentum and carry it over to the next game and then take all the momentum, which is what they're doing right now.
And I'm going into this game 7. I think everyone was more or less thinking Winnipeg will keep that trend going. Yeah, that hasn't happened. They gave up 2 in the first period. I figured as soon as that happened, it was probably over.
And Jordan Kyrou saying the tone, but the bottom 6 was the story here for St. Louis. Matthew Joseph unassisted, and that feeling when lineup connects at the end of the second period. Radek Faksa before the Blues went on a power play. Nikolai Ehlers' second game back commits a penalty afterwards, and no Mark Scheifele is hurting the Jets. What a brutal end to season for the Jets. But honestly, given that the Blues have been the hottest team in the NHL.
Winnipeg.
Was it?
Goal Winnipeg. Who scored it?
I'm trying to see. I don't know what is what. I'm not getting anything whatsoever. The last I saw is a block shot for Ryan Suter on Vlad Namestnikov. Did it go over the goal line? Yeah, I'm not watching that game right now.
Thanks.
But as of right now, that second round meeting, should it happen between St. Louis and Dallas, is going to be tight.
I've got Dallas in that one, I think. Well, I don't know, because they only won last night because one man scored 3 goals.
I mean, I don't know much about hockey, but I think the Stars have been in the playoff more, so I will favor them because of the experience and, the fact that they were able to win over the very good Avalanche team.
The scariest part is, for the Stars, they don't have Jason Robertson or Miro Heiskanen back yet.
Yeah, I know Jason Robertson.
Yeah, and those two are the big faces.
For sure.
And Rantanen, who they got from Colorado via Carolina, was the big superstar they acquired at the trade deadline. Superstars don't become available at the deadline as often as they come.
Yeah.
The headliner here, as we get back into action with the Warriors up 39-29, has been Buddy Hield, who has 13 points. And despite Steph Curry not shooting as he needed to be and not making his necessary shots, he's making plays for others. Şengün moves up at the paint, needs to get one off. The hook bounces inside. There might be something there for the Rockets if they were to get back at this. It's a defensive war of attrition, as has been most of this series. 2:55 to go here. Game 7, winner faces Minnesota. Here's Hield again. He's right to hot hand. He's got 16. How about him? Buddy Hield riding high. He's 4-5 from deep. Aubin Thompson trying to slow things down and swings it to VanVleet. Fred VanVleet all the way across to Şengün right in front of Thompson. Şengün moves up to the paint, swings it, and it's stolen away, intended for Aubin. And Draymond moves back with Steph. Moved it up. Here's Hield again. Delivers again.
Yeah, that's bad.
19 points for Buddy Hield. The Warriors on a 12-2 run in the last free 20. Thompson to VanVleet. Fires one from deep. Bounce short. Gets his own rebound. Whether it's this by design or not is yet to be determined, but he draws the blitz. Thompson moving inside. Puts it in on his own rebound. Was Steven Adams. 1:45 to go here in the second quarter. And the Rockets need some momentum here. They need to cut back here defensively. Oh my goodness. And Draymond Green got right on Fred VanVleet. And VanVleet is hurt.
Offensive foul, I guess.
They're going to go to the replay here. And Draymond, and of course, Draymond has been a villain here for much of this rivalry as so they're going to be reviewing this play as that looked to be a swing of a forearm right on VanVleet. Right after VanVleet tried to poke it away with the swipe, right afterwards, Draymond was swiping at VanVleet on the forearm. So they're going to review the play. It's an official review from Tony Brothers.
From what you're saying, that's like, what they call that, flagrant, whatever.
It's Namestnikov from Pionk and Sandberg on the last goal. The Jets almost got a tying goal. Draymond Green has been the center of controversy several times throughout this series as they are both reviewing the call.
What do you think the call will be?
They're going to review it to see if this is going to be... All right. Technical foul on Draymond Green after review. The foul on VanVleet will stand. It is a common foul on VanVleet. But Draymond has been assessed a technical foul after, a matter of fact, for swinging his forearm on VanVleet.
If they can get Green ejected, that would be massive.
He's a defensive warrior.
Game over.
That will, because the Warriors would lose the most integral part of their defense as such. He's shaking his head.
Came out firing. He scored 2 3-pointers right on the first quarter. That shows how, like, this player is, like, yeah, he may not be the best in terms of the scoring, but he definitely had the confidence to go and try, you know?
And now VanVleet is going to shoot the technical free throws. The first one is good. Remember, he has not missed a free throw so far in postseason play. It's one technical free throw, so he made that one. The Warriors will head back with possession because of the VanVleet foul. Oh, and Buddy Hield has been electric in this game, up to 19 points. Warriors keep it. Here's a passed up three-pointer on the right side. Here's Hield, who steps back. Oh my goodness! Stop it! Stop it! He's got 22 now. This kid is on fire. Buddy Hield with 14 in the quarter. Here's VanVleet. Rockets trailing by 14 points. Dylan Brooks back on. Brooks to Şengün. VanVleet wanting to open up. He's not open. Thompson to Adams. He's fouled on the entry by Green. So that's 2 fouls, as many possessions. And Thompson lost a shoe. He'll pick it back up. It's going to be a shooting foul on Draymond Green. He's up to two. Yeah, he's up to 2 personal fouls. 6 personal fouls, you're out. 2 technical fouls, you're out. Now, Adams will shoot 2, and the first one is good.
Oh, man.
Oh, no way. The Jets have tied it.
In St. Louis.
No way. Oh, my goodness. Steven Adams, the second one bounced out. No way. The Jets have tied it. With 1.6 seconds left, and the roof has come off of Canada Life Center as Draymond could have laid this one inside. Adams picking this one up. Here's Almond Thompson leading the way back. The Rockets need life here. Thompson, bowled by 2 defenders. Rebound is put through! An angry slam from Almond Thompson. On the putback. Here is Curry. Oh my word! He finally gets on the board in the most Steph Curry way possible. Here's Owen on the way back. He lays it up. What a finish there between these two. All of a sudden, the pace is moving back up. Oh my goodness. Just as one game has been going bonkers, we're seeing some bonkers action. Curry is slowing it down. Now back for heel. Extra pass, Podziemski. Adams on his face. Kicked it back out right corner. Draymond Green. Short. Airballed. And here's VanVleet. Last possession for the Rockets. Fred VanVleet. Double pump. Blocked. Curry from full court. Oh, short of a full court free. And the first half ends with a 51-39 lead. No way. Just as we were covering this game, the Jets have tied it with 1.9 seconds left. What in the world?
What a comeback that is, I guess. Wow.
What in the absolute wide world are we witnessing?
Down 12, it's going to be important to start the third quarter well and keep it like
That's gonna be
7
crazy.
points, 6 points.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this can get to the threes are killing the Rockets. Buddy Hill killed the Rockets in the first half. Single-handedly.
Oh. I am just in shock as you are, Owen, that this is going to overtime. The Jets were on the ropes. Oh, if the Jets come back to win this, it is the miracle at Manitoba.
Except it's not in Manitoba.
Winnipeg's part of Manitoba.
Or wait, no, it is in Winnipeg, isn't it?
Yeah, Winnipeg's in Manitoba, the
It
capital
is
of
in
Manitoba.
Winnipeg. I don't know why I thought it was in St. Louis. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
I am in absolute shock. What in the wide world? Just the insanity of playoff hockey is in and of itself beautiful. No Mark Scheifele. Jets on the ropes, and he might deliver the most important goal in franchise history to this point. If they can win Game 7 in overtime and deliver in front of the packed house, these Jet fans here inside the arena and at True North Square will go home happy.
I mean, when you come back like this, you have everything going over you like in overtime. St. Louis has to be under massive pressure. They're probably thinking, how did they lost that 2-goal lead? So I think it's like 70% for the Jets to win.
Well, this game's at the half break, and the Jets game is at intermission before overtime. I'm actually gonna run and get a few things done. I'll be back.
All right. All right. So as for wondering what this call will be like if I covered the hockey game, so let's put it like this. Rebound comes all the way out. The shot is shanked. 3 seconds. Ehlers. One-timer. Rebound. Score! Cole Perfetti! Something like that. Something like that for such a goal call, but what in the absolute world? On a day that's seen Oscar Piastri dominate the Miami Grand Prix and Joey Logano coming alive late and surviving an overtime restart to get his first win of the year, this has been a day of insanity in sports. The Pacers upset the Cavaliers in Game 1 of the East semis earlier today. The Jets have come back from 2 down to tie Game 7 at 3 apiece and force overtime. And if they can get the ceiling goal here, then everyone goes home happy. We have yet to see what is going to come out about. I'll put it up at the side-by-side, but this is insanity, right? Amazing here at True North Square. In the final 2 minutes of regulation, Vladislav Namestnikov gets the Jets within 1. Neil Pionk and Dylan Sandberg the assists. And then, with just 3 seconds to go, Cole Perfetti from Kyle Connor and Nikolai Ehlers to level it up at 3 apiece. Connor's 7th assist of this series, and he leads the team in points. When you account for his 4 goals, he is now up to 11 points. He has an assist earlier tonight on Perfetti's power play goal. Perfetti has 2 goals. Scored his first career goal earlier in this series in the postseason. First career postseason goal earlier in this series. And now the depth has come alive. So now I'll be putting up the side-by-side feed. And guess what? To quote Kevin Harlan, I'm calling both games. What a game. What a series this has been. Oh, what insanity. Oh, and I'm just going crazy over this spot that our friend Owen Parkin, also known as Redbox, we're all in disbelief at this. And Randy Couray, we said the Jets are losing, not impressed. But what insanity. Oh, 2 goals with the net empty. And all of a sudden, this series comes down to 1 goal. 1 goal to see who moves on to face the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference semifinals. Well, this is the 200th Game 7 in NHL history, and it's very appropriate that it has a flair for the dramatic. It's the latest game-tying goal in Game 7 NHL history. Perfetti from Connor has set it up. And so that's for my predictions on who will score the overtime winner between St. Louis and Winnipeg. I gotta message John here. What are we witnessing? Just what are we witnessing here in Winnipeg? So, for the time being, as I focus on these two, so let's get to the rundown as to how the Jets got here and the Blues. To open the scoring, it's Jordan Kyrou from Colton Parayko and Pavel Buchnevich. 1:10 into the first period. At the 7:16 mark, Matthew Joseph unassisted to make it 2-0. Cole Perfetti on the power play from Kyle Connor and Neil Pionk. 11:41 into the second period. There were 35 seconds left. Radic fox up from Nathan Walker to make it 3-1 Blues. What in the world? We all thought as the Blues on the verge of upsetting the Jets. But then, with the net empty, Vladislav Namestnikov gets one. Neil Pionk from Dylan Sandberg. The Jets within one. Then with 1.6 seconds left, Cole Perfetti knocks in a rebound off Kyle O'Connor's shot. Nikolai Ehlers fans on the initial shot. Gets it over to Connor, cross ice. Tie game, 3-3. We've got overtime, and all of a sudden, Jim Montgomery, it has to be feeling nervous. Jordan Binnington might be feeling nervous. It's so far, the Rockets so far tonight, not getting takeoff ready, but nonetheless, what? I am in absolute shock. So as for my overtime winners, as I want to get them off, if I want an overtime winner for Winnipeg, I am picking Gabe Vilardi. And for St. Louis, I am picking Robert Thomas. Those are my overtime predictions for this Game 7 and what has been absolutely theatrical, phenomenal, magnificent, all the adjectives that you can describe it. And it's not enough to describe how much of a classic this game is. Oh my gosh. And Rick Bowness was watching this game from the NHL on TNT studio. Former head coach of the Jets. He has to be in shock about what is happening right now, what is unfolding. But nonetheless, as we go over our halftime stats, so far, to tell the tape here, the Warriors lead 51-39. Buddy Hield with 22 points on an electric 8-9 showing. He's made 6 of 7 threes. Draymond Green with 10 points. And for the Rockets, Amen Thompson has 12 points. Second chance scoring needs to show up here if they were to make this comeback. Alperen Sengun with 8 points. Brad VanVleet with 9 points. 3 points each off the bench for Tari Eason and Steven Adams. But that's not enough here. The scoring needs to come alive here. Second chance points and paint points need to show up. Defensive adjustments need to show up. The Warriors are 19 of 41. Rockets 16 of 45. 3-point shooting is 11 of 23. For the Warriors, Rockets 2 of 8. Rebounds are 29 to 20. Rockets. The offensive rebounds, once again, 11 to 2. Rockets. That's been a key difference because the size advantage plays to the Rockets' favor. Opposite this Warriors small lineup.
So how many second chance points off of the 11 offensive rebounds?
Second chance points, we have not seen that yet as we look at rebounds 11 to 2 in favor of the Rockets offensive wise. But what I can give you is that points in the paint, the Rockets at the advantage 24 to 12. It comes down to points in the paint and second chance points.
Yeah. I just don't feel that we had enough points off of the second chance. But I'm not, obviously, this is not there. But, the Rockets have a lot of 3-point shooter, a lot of 3-point field goals.
Yeah, not a lot of them, but back and forth. I do have the side-by-side view of the Rockets, Warriors, and Jets, Blues right here. And guess what? Because I'm feeling it, I'm going to put on both games and call both games throughout. So yeah, Kraken for Life said, Rick Bowness, you prophet. As he mentioned, NHL on TNT and Paul Bissonnette and the Winnipeg Jets. So, Rick Bowness called it. Former head coach of the Jets over the last 2 seasons when he took over for the resigned Paul Maurice and interim coach Dave Lowry. So Buddy Hield has been shooting the lights out And Ernie Johnson has been impressed. So, with that in mind, free after free. So 3 periods is not enough to decide it. Possibly the biggest period of the Winnipeg Jets franchise. They need a deep run. And if they could deliver here a first round victory, their fans would go home happy. In their franchise's history, the Jets have scored 4 playoff overtime winners. 2 of them came at home, but none of them have came on a sold-out crowd. The last time they played a playoff overtime game was in 2023. They lost in double overtime off an attempted comeback. Down 4-1, they tied Game 3 against the Vegas Golden Knights at 4. Made to double overtime, but Dylan Sandberg's pass bounced off of Ivan Barbashev's skate, and Michael Amadio fired it home for the winning goal to win it 5-4 in double overtime for the Vegas Golden Knights. Perfetti has been the hero so far. We'll see if a hero rise up here at Winnipeg. Pavel Buchnevich out there on the ice. And you know, both teams are going to make the fun out of this one. But this game means more for Winnipeg. St. Louis is playing with lots, and I mean lots, of house money. Among playoff OT goals, Braden Shen has 1. Kyle Connor 2. Nikolai Ehlers, Alex Iafallo, and Nino Niederreiter all each have 1. Connor and Niederreiter have series-clinching overtime goals. Connor, Game 4 against Edmonton in 2021 in triple overtime. Niederreiter, Game 7 for Minnesota against Colorado. And here we go, as it's played out by Hellebuck. All even up at 3. St. Louis with 20 shots. Winnipeg with 28 shots. The whiteout here on full effect. First Game 7 playoff overtime goal in Jets franchise history. The last time the Blues have played a Game 7 in overtime and went to 2 of them, with Patrick Maroon netting the double overtime winner for his hometown team. Everyone on their feet here in Winnipeg, closing it inside for the win! Stopped by Bennington. And then goes back for the other side, and down goes one of the officials. Picked back up by the Jets as Sandberg will reset for Pionk. 40 seconds into the extra session. Pionk moves to the cross. And here they come. Moving up for the ice. Up the far side. The Jets trying to go for the win here. Gets forced over to the far corners. Lowry. Adam Lowry taking control. Moves it over Kyle Connor. Then all the way back. Just holding it is Morrissey. Back around is Lowry. Lowry from the near corner. Back onto the point. Pionk. Deep shot goes out in front. Bounced off of Lowry, but then it gets way to the net. We're getting set for the third quarter. In the meantime, between Houston and Golden State. In front! Bennington turns it away. Here comes the breakout as one of the Jets rushes back to defend the 2-on-1. They're making it a 2-on-2. Everyone's heading back onto their feet as this bounces up. Hellebuck can't see where it is. Picked up by Lowry at the far corner. A minute 30 into this Game 7 overtime. Winner faces Dallas. Shoved towards the wall as Pionk as he sends it right onto Bennington. Played out by Fowler onto Parayko. Parayko held inside the line as it's fed over to Connor, and this is fed behind the crease. Nobody setting up in the slot. Comes right in front! And this gets forced wide. On the near half boards, it takes several shoves here, and the Blues will get this one out. Snuggerud places to the far boards. Hayden Fleury back to retrieve. Steph Curry is back onto the court with Amon Thompson. And then move down the distance, driving down towards the net is Ehlers. Has been an overtime hero before. Game 3 against Edmonton 2021. We get started here as Curry, who moves around Thompson. As Bolduc moves back. And then inside, here's Green. Forced around. Here's Sundqvist, who gets decked. And here it comes. Give and go. Podziemski. The layup is blocked. And then coming back with this is Thompson as Bennington holds on. Amon Thompson gets rejected himself. And Curry will swing it back for Green. The Warriors are 67-6 when they lead at halftime in the playoffs under Steve Kerr. One of those 6 losses, as we have a whistle, one of those 6 losses came in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Morgan Barrett had a chance to end it for the Jets. But Bennington's there to make a timely save. 2:27 into overtime. We have not yet had a winner. 30 seconds into its third quarter. And you know what? Because I'm feeling it, Owen, I'm calling both games. Podziemski
God,
2.
yes.
Butler is rejected by Şengün. As it goes back and forth as the Blues trying to get this one inside. Sandberg blocks off Sundqvist. Give and go here the other way as Draymond Green gets rejected at the rim. Defense is capitalizing here on their opportunities. Back inside is Draymond. Gets away from one man, and there's the stuff and the foul. Jimmy Butler. Buchnevich sends it inside. Here's Thomas. Thomas going into the front, and Buchnevich can't put it away.
Oh, come on.
Swept out. This is moved up back across. Icing against the Jets as Cam Fowler touches up. But defense has been the calling card here between the Rockets and the Warriors. It's Butler. Sells the call on Dylan Brooks. Bennington was out to play last time around. 10 points for Jimmy. 4 of 9 shooting. But this has been Game 7, Buddy Hield. The shot for Jimmy is good. It's a 15-point lead. Can the Rockets spot them from down 15?
I'm not feeling it.
Draymond Green moves it up the near side as Braden Shen gets tied up on the faceoff. Winnipeg trying to get it. Moved up on the hook pass to Şengün, who flips it inside. Blues keep it inside from Colton Parayko. At the far corner, Braden Shen trying to be an overtime winner. Overtime hero again. One-timer! Hellebuyck fought it off. It's up in the air, and it goes back to center. Picking it up now, it is Fowler. Fowler moves it up to the near side. Blowing by to the right corner, Draymond Green. There was a hand in the air, and Jalen Green, or rather Amen Thompson, gets this rebound. Moved across from Broberg to Falk. Falk dancing around as there's the layup for the Rockets. Amen Thompson. And the Jets will grab control. Velarde turns it over, and Hellebuyck bails them out. Thompson with 14 tonight as this bounces up and will be picked up by the Blues for an icing. And this will be a foul here against Houston. But that was a turnover in tight from Gabe Velarde, who wanted to make the pass in front. Nathan Walker with a chance to end it. Couldn't put the dagger. Big saves from Hellebuyck. We needed to see more of this from him because he is not. He was struggling all series long.
And now we get A-grade Connor Hellebuyck, right when we need him. Well, we needed him this whole game, but at least he's showing up now.
Extra pass, here's Buddy Hield. He's been unconscious. That time he misses. His second miss of this game. And then moving back, it is Amen Thompson. Thompson juggled up. He'll get control of this one. Thompson to Şengün, calling the shots from the left wing. Trying to get VanVleet open. He'll take it himself as VanVleet was closed off. Dylan Brooks tries to get open. Şengün left on an island one-on-one. Spins around. Puts one up. Too far. Draymond grabs the rebound. Go Jets, go Jets here at Winnipeg. And there's the stuff, an angry one from Brandon Podziemski. He's upset. No foul as the shot was blocked by the Jets from the Blues. And then back at center ice is gained control by Buchnevich. Moving back inside is Kyrou. Pad save. Hellebuyck. VanVleet goes inside. Thompson. There's Şengün. Fouled on the entry.
The Blues are just controlling the pace of play completely here. I don't like this at all.
And Podziemski wanted a foul. There was none there. And Draymond Green gets another one towards his direction. And Şengün will head to the line. Kyrou opened the scoring 4 minutes and 58 seconds into this game. He wanted to end it. Face-off is won by Lowry back to Hayden Fleury. First shot from Şengün is good. Sundqvist gets bumped, and then it goes across on the cross-ice pass. Here is Fowler saying one to the net. Stopped by Hellebuyck, and is picked up by the Jets from the near side. Fowler can't hold his own. It's a race for the puck, and he'll grab it on an icing. Second shot for Şengün is good. 4:17 or 5:17 into overtime. Hellebuyck has made key save after key save. Right back is Podziemski. Brandon Podziemski. Trying to grab a hold of it. Lobbing one up front for Jimmy Butler. Boxed out by VanVleet. Single coverage on him, but will the size advantage prevail? VanVleet pokes it free! And then moving back at the far side is Amen Thompson. Thompson gets Şengün open. Half spin to Thompson! Amen Thompson answers with an angry stuff of his own and gets the Rockets fans on their feet as we have an icing against the Blues. So you get a flashback to what happened in the Four Nations face-off with Jordan Binnington making key save after key save, make 3 huge saves. We have a timeout here from the Warriors. Just the second one that they've used. Binnington's been huge for Canada in the Four Nations face-off. He's been huge for the Blues tonight. Władysław Namestnikov wins the face-off, controlled by Connor. Tight shot stopped by Binnington. And the Blues can change their lines. They'll get the TFW line on the bench. Some have called it the WTF line, but I call it the TFW line because of broadcasting purposes. So that's to keep it safe. This time the Blues win the draw. Falk fires around for the near side. The ex-Carolina Hurricane sends it for Jake Neighbors, who sends it inside the zone. Grabbed down at the far side by Winnipeg. Cole Perfetti looking to finish this off a hat trick. Sent inside. This is behind the red line. It's icing. 5:59 into this overtime session. Jets trying to get their first overtime winner in front of a sold-out crowd in the playoffs. The only 2 times they've done so, it was during the pandemic, 2021. In the times that they've played playoff overtime at home, it's not really gone kind to them.
It has not.
Bouncing up on this faceoff, out in front, Hellebuck turns it away. On the 21st shot by St. Louis, Pionk, to the far side with the Jets driving up. This bounced up and it's directed onto the near corner. Namestnikov arrives first. Off of the near half boards is a tie-up. Broberg there, fired up. And this might be a delay of game. This might be a delay of game penalty. Jets fans on their feet as they're going to the power play. The Blues have committed a delay of game penalty.
Yeah. Come on.
Braden Shen, who was an overtime hero in the playoffs previously in his career, is going to go off 2 minutes for delay of game. The puck was not deflected out. He tried to clear it. It went over the glass. No touching of anyone or anything. And the chances there for Winnipeg to end the Blues season, to complete this miracle. And the fans on their feet in this wide-out crowd. 5-on-4, the most important power play of the Jets franchise, arguably. Face off, grabbed by St. Louis. They'll take it in 2-on-2. Colton Parayko trying to go around. He gets caught up by Ehlers. And Morrissey was also there. Blues stay on it with Fowler, or rather Torpchenko. The puck came free. Pionk will flip it back. And he'll go back up with this one. Pionk on the top unit as Amen Thompson drove inside for that slam. He has 16 points as of now. Connor, to Perfetti. Perfetti delivers near side for Velarde, who came back in Game 5. The Jets are 1-for-1 on the power play. They fired just 1 shot. Troy Thompson Sr. and Maya Wilson on the court here. As that basket stands. So the timeout called. No and 1. As the Warriors go back up by 9. Rockets trying to make the comeback. Podziemski boxed out, spins. Has to find an option. Flanks it out. Intercepted by Adams. So he'll go back with this one. Moving up is Connor. And delivers it over to the point for Pionk. On the left side. Rockets trying to counter here. VanVleet. VanVleet. To Brooks. Tied up. Jets trying to get this one here. Centering pass was knocked away. And then Şengün driving to the inside. This layup doesn't go. Rebound is poked in on a circus shot. Amen Thompson, are you serious? 18 points for Amen Thompson. The Jets drive inside. Here is Mason Appleton. Appleton moves it back to the point. And back inside. Rebound free. Binnington holding on to it. And he covers it up. Ball is poked free. VanVleet knocked it out of Butler's hands. But what a spin by Şengün. And then Thompson on a circus shot from just below.
Saw that cover coming.
Well, Binnington has been poised. And that was a deflected shot by Nino Niederreiter. So Owen subs out, getting a well-earned rest. It is 7:36 to go here in this third quarter. It'll be a challenge here on this out-of-bounds ruling. So with that in mind, we'll take you back up to Winnipeg, Game 7 of that Western Conference quarterfinal series. And this Blues will come up more time shorthanded, and this will be sent down, picked up by Hayden Fleury, who is controlling the second power play group. Moving up the near side, it is Mason Appleton. Appleton around Suter. Appleton gets bumped twice. Niederreiter delivers it over to the far side. Walkie is Fleury, and then moving aside for a quick shot, stopped by Binnington. A rebound back, and that's blocked. Blues are back to 5-on-5, and they're controlling a 2-on-2. Inside is Toropchenko. Toropchenko fires, and that one gloved down by Hellebuyck. Might bounce off him, and then moving up onto the mesh. And Vladislav Nemesnikov, who was injured in Game 6, is laboring that upper body. He gets hit along the boards on a cross check from Ryan Suter. No penalty called on the way. Winnipeg already lost Mark Scheifele for the series. They don't need any more injuries. Go Jets, go Chance here at Canada Life Center as this faceoff is controlled by the Blues. Cross-ice pass to Leddy, and then back around. Jumping in front of it is DeMello. Up at the front. To the near half boards. Everyone on their feet. Jets fan on this pass, but they'll get it up. Dylan Sandberg moved up front. And moving up here one-on-one is Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers, tight shot. Stopped by Binnington. He'll shut it down. No rebound. Nearly 9 minutes into the overtime. It's actually Brandon Tanev, not Ehlers. Tanev, who is in his second stint with the Jets, spent the first few years of his career with this very team. Different jersey number because Velarde took the number 13. Now he's wearing the 73. Bounced around between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Seattle Kraken. This is the final year of a 6-year contract that he signed with the Penguins. Moved across to Pionk. Pionk moves it back. Here's Sandberg setting up. Pass is picked off. And the Blues get back with Iafallo rushing back. Alex Iafallo drop pass. Parayko gobbled up by Hellebuyck. He's looking calm and poised here. You know, Parayko and Hellebuyck faced off against one another in the Four Nations face-off. Parayko for Canada and Hellebuyck for the USA. But this 3-on-2 rush went to a trailer that is Parayko with Adam Lowry being the trailer. The review's taking a while. This Lowry is trying to break up that shot. But what a game we're having here. Off the face-off, this going back to the point. Falk controls it around the backhand down low. Barron tried to pin his man. Pass comes out in front. Thomas can't get that pass off. This bounced up out onto center ice. Rushing after is Falk. Falk gets shoved aside, and the Jets want to move it up. Morgan Barron is tied up. Nino Niederreiter as well. Bounces to center, and the Jets will enter inside. It's an unsuccessful challenge, and as such, the Warriors will keep possession. 56-49, the Warriors lead. The bump on Curry. Rolled out, he wanted the foul. Şengün grabbing the rebound. Move back is Niederreiter. Niederreiter, far corner. Niederreiter tied up by Falk. Fed inside Thompson. On the other side, Dylan Brooks. It's an intense board battle. There's a bump. And it's an offensive foul against Dill Pickle. 7:19 to go in the third quarter. This moved across. Here's Luke Shen, who holds onto it. Fired up high. And it's out of play onto the mesh. Yeah, Brooks ran into Steph Curry. It bounced off the mesh. We're past the halfway mark of this overtime period. We've had some crazy overtime games before. But meanwhile, between the Warriors and the Rockets, it's Warriors 56, Rockets 49. Flow pass, then inside, Draymond. He had that one deflected out. I thought he threw it away. 7:02 to go here in the third quarter. The Rockets spotted the Warriors up by 15 points. The Rockets have cut it to a 7-point game But remember, as is seen last year between the Timberwolves and Nuggets, no lead is safe. And as is the case in the hockey game that we're watching here, Owen, between the Blues and Jets, no lead is safe. Drive inside, kick back out, Podziemski's free. Out style. Şengün grabs it and moves it up for Fred VanVleet. Hellebuck is getting looks over at the side. VanVleet pulling up. Here's Şengün. Gets the body! Is it going to be an offensive charge, though, is the question. Well, Josh Morrissey, Brandon Podziemski contested that. It's going to be a charge on Şengün as Podziemski drew his 20th charge of the season. The third most in the NBA.
What's the score now?
It's 56-49 Warriors. But do remember.
That was big. If it was a basket, it would have been 5 points.
Podziemski blows by Şengün and knocks down the mid-range jumper. It's a 9-point game now. But do remember, in this game, in the other game, Morrissey played 2 minutes before leaving the game in the first period with an injury. He is not returned to action. He's been ruled out. Draymond Green's errant pass could not be picked up by Podziemski. And Fred VanVleet wants to spin away from all the contact. VanVleet fighting in an open. Şengün loses his man and gets his revenge. Ho, ho, ho. The patience. I know it pertains to another sport, but that's Connor McDavid-esque. Here's Curry on the other side. The Blues moving up. Curry floats one too far. Şengün bats it up. And here's Owen Thompson. Jets moving back inside. And this layup is good. The Rockets within 5. They're on a 14-4 run in the last 5+ minutes.
Keep missing Steph Curry. That's how that's helped.
Radek Faksa gets denied entry as Draymond Green floats one up. And Steve Kerr, seeing the momentum the Rockets are gaining, is forced to use a timeout. As such, the Rockets, motivated by the unsuccessful challenge, they're going to go here within 5 points. Let's see how the Warriors quote momentum, because even for them on a fast start, it's not how you start, it's how you finish it. And the Jets can take some of those same lessons, how you finish it. They finished strong in the third period. 2 goals with the net empty. And they want to complete the comeback here in this overtime session. First Game 7 overtime game in Jets franchise history, at least in the current iteration of the Jets. Alex Iafallo down the nearest wing. Iafallo beats out Cam Fowler to the puck. Feeds it over to Adam Lowry. Lowry trying to get open space. Iafallo frees it up. Here's DeMello back out the right point. Cross point pass. Then this pass over to Kyle Connor. Rips one. Benitez there. The rebound sticked away. And it bounced up at that near corner. Settled down. Who is it going to be? Winnipeg grabbing a hold of it. It is DeMello. Pivoting, firing, blocked in front, rush to the puck, picked up by Parayko. Iafallo to keep it. No, this gets driven out by St. Louis as he move it up. And it could be a 3-on-2. Trailer option, Robert Thomas waits. And the right side and hopped over the stick. Centering pass is knocked away. Up the far corner, the Jets get this one out. Bouncing over Falk. And to Broberg it goes. Now on the near side, Broberg drives. That one out the side of the cage. Niederreiter in trouble. And over the far half boards, it's Pride free. Jets gain control. Nearly 8 minutes to go here in overtime. Velarde drives to the near wing. And Morgan Barron fell down. The Blues go the other way. 58-53 Warriors lead. But the Rockets score 14 at the last 18 points. Pionk gets the first one back to this puck, but can't get this one out as Letty holds it. Brandon Podziemski, who has scored the last few points, and there's a takedown at the right behind the play. And here's Curry. Of course! Steph Curry being Steph Curry-esque. Timeless. Just 6 points, but those 2 points, but those 2 3-pointers have come from in tight. It's an icy against the Jets. VanVleet trying to find an answer. Steven Adams back for VanVleet.
What was in there?
VanVleet to the inside and back out. Brooks extra pass. Eason co-stop. In the left hash, Tari Eason pumps, and it throws in. Tari Eason gets the Rockets back within 6. when he waved off the icing, so the faceoff is in center ice. Curry lost it. Thompson right on his face. Steph Curry delivered it on boards for Jimmy Butler. And this is blocked. Curry grabs this rebound. On the way back in is Thompson. Thompson posts up, is fouled. Moving back up with this, as this was deflected up. And another icing. This one against St. Louis. The Rockets cut it to within 5. Can they get into a position where they can lead here? Podziemski got back all the way. And Thompson was the one drawing the foul. Jet fans on their feet here. 7:20 left in overtime. And Thompson a little banged up here. 9 free, the overtime shots in favor of the Jets. They've been the more aggressive team here in the extra session. And yet another icing against the Blues. The Jets are playing like they want to take it. They've been energized. Thompson has 18 points with 7 rebounds, a steal and a block. A premier two-way player on the Rockets. Curry is just 6 points. The first shot for Thompson is knocked down. Off the face-off controlled by the Jets. Pioch sends one to the goal. It's blocked in front. And was this out of play? Yes, it was. And so Thompson will shoot another one to get the Rockets within 4. Some dribbles here. And Owen Thompson, the second one. Good. Free throw struggles have been a theme for him. But at the free throw line, the Rockets have knocked down their shots. 9 of 11. The Warriors have gone to the free throw line a few times. They made 3 of 5. Podziemski being held in check by Owen. Sticking with him, Kevon Looney. Steven Adams on him. Curry struggling to get open. Curry close out, reverse layup. Oh my goodness. That's just not fair. The reverse layup is Neil Pioch. Beats out his guys onto the far half court. Here's Dylan Brooks, left corner. A little too far there. Rush with the ball. Grabbed by VanVleet. Opening up space. The fake. The pump. No roll in for Tari Eason, but a foul. 6:40 to go here in overtime between the Jets and Blues. Out to play it is Hellebuck. Has Toropchenko. He's in trouble. But gets it over to the far corner. And the Jets bail him out. Pioch is tied up. Quick shot was adjusted on the shot angle. And then back it goes for the Jets. Sandberg with Fox out on him. And now it's controlled by Winnipeg. Pioch sends it inside. And then right into the stick. A tie-up on the shot. Tari Eason dribbling and then firing one wide. And then right behind the play, Alex Iafallo couldn't pick it up. Along the far corner, Sandberg keeping this one alive. Iafallo still chasing after it. The Blues move up for the near side. Thomas goes across. Iafallo ties up Kyrou. Bumped up the puck. Here's Connor. Eason missed both. And then the Jets will dump this one aside. The Warriors going to work. Lowry bumps his man. And this gets the Jets the puck here for the right point. Bounced up onto the air. Lowry across the ice. Bang to the save. The biggest one so far for the Blues. Deep shot. Doesn't go there for the Warriors. Here is Thompson as he goes back. Owen Thompson. Moving back up with this to the inside. Kicked out. Eason. This takes a bounce off him and out of play. 3:28 to go here in the third quarter. And this will be sent back here to the blue zone. Along the near half boards. They're waiting with this puck. It's kicked back out. 5:10 to go. On the near half boards. A foot pass was sticked away. They're just moving back up. Here's the partial break for the win. Stopped by Bennington.
Oh my God.
And then a spinorama here on the Warriors side. Podziemski watched by Thompson. Owen Thompson forces this to be an extra pass. A drive to the inside. And here's the shot. Didn't go. And then back the other way are the Rockets. Tari Eason moving to the inside. Extra pass was knocked away. VanVleet the save. Up at the far corner. No three-pointer. 4:44 to go here in overtime to the Jets. And a shot too far. Adams pries open the offensive rebound. Thompson moved back out. Jabari Smith. Yes, sir! Jabari Smith on the offensive rebound from Steven Adams. 2:41 to play in the third. And another timeout is taken. 63-60. Warrior lead as Philip Broberg's stick broke in this first overtime period. Nikolai Ehlers just coming back from injury. Just in time for the Jets to make it a probable comeback here as Hellebuck made another save. 4:40 to go here. Colton Parayko on the deep shot. You know, it's a face-off win from the Blues. It's seeing all sorts of crazy sequences. The Jets, of course, have the shots on goal advantage here in this overtime. And on this tie-up, the Jets will take control of the face-off. Velarde up the near half boards. Niederreiter ties up his man. The Blues trying to go back. They'll fire it from deep. Hellebuck plays it out for Pionk. Oskar Sundqvist retreats. It's a feed over to the near side. Everyone on their feet here at Winnipeg. And this is chipped over from Niederreiter to himself along the boards at the backside. Back inside as Binnington saw this one go wide. And here's another stoppage. It actually will be grabbed by him. And Fred VanVleet energized as this young Rockets team is ready to strike and pounce just like they did in the last 2 games of the series and just like they did in the NBA Cup. This Game 7, a low-scoring contest, and there's no reason to worry about missed frees because the Rockets have made their frees when it counts. They are outscoring the Warriors 21-12 in this first stanza. From the far side, delivered back to the point for Sandberg. Now delivered down low, it's Adam Lowry. Lowry up front. That one adjusted and Cotter was driven off the puck. Steph Curry has been rather quiet shooting-wise in this game. Held to just 6 points. Feed for Moody, deep free on the way. Bounced out, and this rebound will go to Houston. Tari Eason beat out his man. Pass across to Kyrou, quarter to quarter. DeMello sticked away his guy. Adam Lowry takes it up. And here's VanVleet back on our main feed. VanVleet moved it over to the corner for Smith. Jabari Smith trying to pull up. Boxed out by Curry. Smith from in tight. Bounced up. The rebound is tipped and grabbed by the Warriors. The Blues have it at the near corner, but they're tied up. Nathan Walker, Dylan Sandberg's on him. Curry is blitzed on a double team. Curry breaks himself free. Doesn't shoot the free. It's blitzed once again. And this Rockets defense is swarming the corner. Left corner free is made. Jimmy Butler, when it seemed like there was nothing for the Warriors, the Rockets did everything right. 14 points on 5-10 shooting and now the stoppage on the Winnipeg side because no puck movement. VanVleet playing this one himself with 5 to shoot. VanVleet has to break free, driving down, fakes one away. Bounced up, and it'll be grabbed by Moody with Curry leaning the other side. Winner faces Minnesota in round 2. And Curry, oh, what a feed to Draymond. Butler now, and he's bringing up space for Draymond, who rattles this one inside on the layup. Rockets go off a pace down the middle. Amon Thompson, shake, fake, rejected but a foul. 56 seconds to go here in the third quarter. This face out back over to the point as it's a fire from deep. Wide the crease. Barron picks up the loose rebound. Over the far half boards. This gets bounced up. Gonna be an icing. With 2:43 to go here in overtime. Very rarely have we seen overtime games in Game 7 head to a second OT. The Thompson's going to go to the line again. He has 20 tonight. He's been the best Rocket on the court. And a difference maker in this series. Shannon Barron again as the first free throw is good. So the Blues will play this one out at center off a very clean face-off win. Back inside, the Jets will pick it up in their own zone. Out to center as Velarde will take it himself. Velarde tie up at the left circle with Shen at the far half boards. Both teams trying to whack at this puck to pry it free. Whacked by Parayko, comes back out for Barron, and at the left point, it's Thompson made both. With 53 seconds to go here in this third quarter, Blues move it up and they slow it up. Shen tied up, and this gets forced out onto center ice. The Pionk slows it down. Jimmy Butler, he waits some time out. Butler trying to find an opening. He finds Draymond again. Who delivers again? The Blues at their own end feed it off the near side boards. Bounced up, and this will rattle all the way behind Hellebuck. Nemestikov almost turned it over to Buchnevich. It gets free over to the left point. And now back. The Warriors will go back with the 70-62 off a miss. The out in front, there's a whistle. Hellebuck Tried to take it away. Now for the point. This gets bounced up onto the far corner. Cairo in pursuit. Jets pick it up onto the far half boards. This gets fed up through center. Nemestikov tied up by Falk. Several whacks at it. Perfetti there. Wanting to complete a hat trick. Back onto the Jet zone as it's Pionk. And Neil Pionk will start for his own zone. He beats out Zach Boduk. Kyle Connor out there onto the ice. Jets going for the win here in overtime. If we don't have a score here, we'll go to the second one. Kyle Connor drives up. Connor around the boards. Connor drive back to the point. Pionk shot. Rebound will be picked up. And it'll be cleared out. The Jets will restart. 53 left in the first overtime. Moved up the near boards as the Jets take it back inside. From the near corner. Poked free of Iafallo. Then moving over to the far half boards. Adam Lowry gets tied up. At 70-62 as they're checking something here on the NBA side. The Blues trying to end it as well. For the far corner. Collecting it is Dylan DeMello. Gets it out onto center, but it goes all the way down for an icing. 33.1 to go here. 23.1 to go in this third quarter. Turns out the clock operator never got the clock set. So everyone's checking what is happening here.
Come on, Winnipeg. They both had chances. I feel like St. Louis has definitely had the upper hand, though, in this overtime.
Off the face-off, it's controlled by the Blues as the Warriors are getting set. 5 on the shot clock with Jimmy. Trying to open up space. Here's Podziemski from free. Bounced out. Rockets trying to get it, and they will. They have the final possession. Amon Thompson, can he do what Buddy Hield can do? No. And it'll be an 8-point game heading into the final quarter. And it turns out there's going to be no scoring here in the first overtime. Double overtime is going to be next year. The Winnipeg Jets and St. Louis Blues still level at 3 apiece after 4 periods of play. We'll have double overtime. And still, I'll get my predictions here as to lay them out. I had Gabe Velarde winning in overtime for the Jets. Robert Thomas for the Blues. What about you, Owen? What are your predictions for overtime? Who do you have winning it for either side? Oh, we lost.
So, I mean, I don't know what hockey, but 8 points going to the final quarter, still there for Houston, but very low, 62 points across 3 quarters. And we'll see if the fourth quarter will be a little bit better offensively. The start is very important. It's either like to keep it within like 2 possession game. Definitely don't want to go down more than 8 early.
Yeah, and for the Warriors, they're living and dying by the free. Safe to say they're living by it. They've made 13 of 31 from deep. Houston has not fired the free a lot, but when they had, it's not really been good for them. 3 of 12. The points in the paint has been the big difference in favor of Houston. And that advantage is 38-22. And offensive rebounds, 14-2 Houston.
Honestly, I feel that the Houston didn't take advantage of the Warriors, have been shooting, but the percentage is not bad, very bad, but it's not good either. They have missed a few shots. There was a lot of opportunity for Houston, but they just couldn't score important possessions. So here we go. They're down 8. They have a chance, but they need to start scoring somehow more consistently. You can rely on them defensively for sure, but you need to get it done on the other end.
And now you've got the Jets who are just relying way too much on Hellebuck. Like this is not a viable strategy.
I thought they were out shooting the Blues in that first overtime period, but
yeah, but I don't feel like very many of them had an actual shot at being the one. Maybe that one shot.
Kyle Connor, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've outshot them 39-24, now hit them 65-39. Oh, this is going to get interesting in the double overtime. So fourth quarter may be coming next this week. Get Andrew on board. How are you doing? Can't wait to see you soon.
What's going on, guys? I'm doing all right. I'm nervous. Now, Redbox, you had to put money on it right now. Are you thinking the Jets?
No. I want to, but no. I'm not.
I'm gonna go to check the odds.
Well, you know what? I may be looking at the Rockets and saying, well, we still got a chance. 12 minutes left on the season. Let's finish this one strong and slay some demons.
I agree.
Yep. 17 of 23 baskets Amon Thompson has scored or assisted on in this Game 7. Şengün wants to get open, can't do so, and airballs this one, and Steph Curry will lead it the other way. Here's Curry, getting a screen from Draymond Green, and then the switch on Jabari Smith. Defense here at the very best. Curry wanting to blow by, Euro stepping inside, lays it up. There's the Steph Curry that Warriors fans needed to see. Frankly enough, that's just the first two-pointer he's taken. It's Jalen Green. Spins out his man. Şengün passes up for the free throw line. He goes to the paint. Goes for the tough bucket. That didn't connect. And here's Curry on the way back. Slowing up the pace as VanVleet's on the bench. Curry wants to fire this from deep. He's inevitable. That's all I can really say to it. He's inevitable. 3 points in the first half, 10 points in the second half already. And already Ime Udoka said enough is enough. Let's call timeout here. It's 75-62.
Jets minus 136, Blues plus 100 at the moment.
All right. And even though I'm a Rockets fan myself, regardless of if we win or lose this game, there's nothing that I can really be mad at all.
That's right. I mean, it's first playoff experience for quite a few players. And maybe you can add a piece or two to this team, and you got the second place in the Western Conference, so that's something to build on as well. And yeah, I mean, it could be a lot better next season.
Yeah, it's only up from here. Add some more pieces, and you can deepen up the bench.
Yes.
And player development is also crucial because you have two guys that you got in the previous two drafts in Reed Sheppard and Cam Whitmore that you can build and develop on.
Definitely need some a shooter that you can rely
A shooter.
on.
And I'm hoping Sheppard can develop into that shooter.
Well, that. I mean, it's always a bonus when a player like that develop your team. So.
He was the third overall pick, and for the season that we've had, it's amazing that we were able to improve with the core that we've had, and now with Sheppard getting in good action in the G League and thriving off that time of the G League, that builds on his confidence.
Yeah. Maybe you'll trade Dylan Brooks for somebody that's good defense, good in defense and shoots better.
I initially brought up Devin Booker in this regard.
Oh.
Well, that was back when we were casting
Devin
Game
Booker
1 right.
Transfer to this team. It'd be like the facilitator and like the shooter, the leader. Like, I mean, that would be perfect. And the Suns, I mean, they're gonna get rid of Booker and Durant because they're not going anywhere with them.
Yeah, the Durant-Booker experiment hasn't really worked out because they've shifted to a top-heavy team and swayed away from what worked from that 2021 run when they made the finals. They had a deep bench that year. And now, the depth has come up dry. Because when you use Ryan Dunn and Royce O'Neal as your top depth options, ouch. All right. Says they're going over that first overtime period between the Jets and the Blues. The longest overtimes in NHL history. The top three. The Easter epic between the Capitals and Islanders, 1987. Bruins and Rangers, 1939. And then 6 years ago, Capitals and Hurricanes, 2019. Those were the three longest Game 7s in NHL history.
And who scored that game-winning goal back in 2015?
Brock McGinn, assisted by Justin Williams and Jacob Slavin.
McWin from Mr. Game 7. Exactly.
Yes, indeed. So, we've been juggling around all the action here. We're covering both Game 7, Houston and Golden State. Game 7, oh, Jalen Green. He almost laid that one up. That could have been close, but man, this Game 7 between the Jets and Blues has been every definition of a 5-scale sort of crazy. All right. And Jalen's going to go to the free throw.
Question for you.
What's it, Andrew?
Question for you. If the Warriors win the chip this year, is officially over Kobe in your all-time rankings?
I think Curry passes Kobe in the all-time rankings. I think that has happened a while back as Jalen made the second one. And Curry's ahead of Kobe. You can make a legit argument for that. Yeah, I can hear you. You there?
Yep. Sorry, what were you asking?
And the question was if Curry wins a 5th championship, does that?
No, that's a hard one. I'm inclined to say no.
I think that before these 7 games between the Rockets and I thought the Warriors were better, but I don't think they were going to win it because there are teams that are more ready for them than them, honestly.
As Brooks hits a mid-range jumper.
Yeah.
That's a very tough call between Steph and Kobe, but an argument can be made for either or. And now this will be, what is this? Is this another timeout? So 75-66 is another offensive possession where there's a timeout. The Rockets, they've scored the last several points, and Steve Kerr has presumably said enough. We don't want to lose momentum here. We want to build on that momentum. So this timeout is called by the Warriors at the 15-footer from Dill Pickle, the Mississauga native, same city as John Tavares is from. So this leads to the question for you, Owen. How do you see this second round series between your Leafs and the Panthers?
I think that first round was a wake-up call for the Leafs. I think almost dropping a 3-1 lead. I think they know what they're up against now. I think the Panthers beating Tampa Bay, I did not have that in my card. But I think this is a winnable series. I think it's a very winnable series for Toronto. In fact, I would be heavily disappointed if we can't win it. I'd say we probably take it in 6.
Yeah, I think it's going to either 6 or 7. But this is one of those series where it's tough to predict it. And it's going to be a coin flip. If the Panthers make it come out of this in a gut punching battle, no one will blame them because the Panthers are still the best team in the NHL right now. The Leafs have a similarly experienced coach in Craig Berube as opposed to Paul Maurice. Maurice has been around for nearly 3 decades in the NHL as a head coach, going to 3 Stanley Cup finals, once with the Hurricanes, twice with the Panthers, and he's made to several conference finals. He made one of them with the Jets in 2018. Let's go to Game 7 overtime goals called by Kenny Albert on American National Television. 2014, Alec Martinez. 2019 twice, Brock McGinn and Pat Maroon. 2020, Joe Kiviranta. 2022, Artemi Panarin. We'll have to see how this goes, but in terms of Game 7 overtime winners, last year David Pasternak. 2023, Carter Verhaeghe among the most famous case, as it was the upset of the century, and that cemented the rise of the Florida Panthers. And they were the last team to enter the playoffs, the 16th seed, making it all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, and they took the historic Boston Bruins all the way to 7 games and beat them. That Bruins team set the record for the most wins and most points in a regular season, 65 wins, 135 points. And then that happened. So, Jimmy Butler has sounded nicely playing next to Steph Curry. Of course, you talk about the Justice League and the villains around. The Warriors believe that Curry and Jimmy are Batman and Robin going up against the DC villains. And the villains of the DC comics. As the Jets and the Blues are taking the ice here for double overtime. 1 minute from puck drop. Nerves at an all-time high. Jets in the polar night blue. Blues in the white. Gloria wanted to sing, but she got held up after the end of that third period. Then are the Warriors. Rolling back here with Curry. Swung it out. It's Podziemski. Left corner free. Bounced out, and Jalen grabs the rebound. Jalen moving up right to left. Here's Şengün, who feeds Jalen. Moving up. Jalen Green to Steven Adams. Lost the handle, but that was knocked out by Draymond Green. 9:24 to go in this fourth quarter. Houston's season's on the line. Down by 9 points. They trail by as many as 15 points. Trailed by 13 in the early stages of this quarter. Şengün leading the way in the give and go between him and VanVleet. VanVleet backs up all the way to the logo and then pulls up to the right wing. VanVleet driving up. VanVleet swings into Şengün with 2. Pump fake and delivers. Within 7. 9:05 to go. Rockets trying to complete the comeback. Jets trying to complete their own comeback. Curry brings up Podziemski. Kicked out at the left side. Now moving up to the free throw line. Then back out is Hield. Let their hot hand first half. On the left corner, Adams seeing this one go inside. Curry, reverse layup, rolled in. It's back up to 9 points for the Warriors. And this second overtime is about to get underway here at Canada Life Center. Here it is. And here's a tight shot, rattled in. Impossible! Fred VanVleet turning into Freddy Fazbear and jump scaring the Warriors. Curry blitzed, and now as Draymond kicks it out, left wing free for Hield, delivers. It's a 10-point game. Buddy Hield delivering here as the Blues dump it in inside. Wide of Hellebuck. The Jets get to it first. Onto the near half boards. It is VanVleet. Fred VanVleet to the far side, backed up at the logo. Jets are back inside. The quick shot kicked out by Hellebuck. And it goes out of play. Şengün opens up. Şengün spins out. Şengün puts it up. It bounces around the rim. Poke free. Warriors take it. Curry. Moving back and going up onto the near side. VanVleet. In out of blitz Curry. And then force him over to the far side. Curry drives towards the inside. Puts it through. Steph Curry getting the momentum back for Golden State. The North Carolina kid doing the work. 14 points in the second half. VanVleet from deep. Bounced up and grabbed by Curry again. Steph Curry almost lost it. You see it's watching tight by Brooks. Dylan Brooks stays with Curry. That frees up Hield. Hield rushed onto by Green. And he'll have to retreat back. That frees up the space for Podziemski at the right wing. Has VanVleet on, steps back and fires it. A little too far. And it's probably free for the Blues. Pass inside was picked apart. And it goes back for Kyle Connor. Green for Adams. Steven Adams to Jalen Green as he opens up space for free. Short, well short. All of a sudden the Rockets shooting woes are continuing. Perfetti sets up at the far side for Nemestikov. And Ime Udoka It's looking onwards. Hayden Fleury's shot was up high. Draymond Green looking at the right wing. Swinging someone across over to Jimmy. Şengün's there. Jimmy trying to pull up. Trying to spin around. Drives. This one poked free. Rebound. Grabbed by VanVleet. Fred VanVleet moving up the left side. VanVleet sets up at that wing. Right it up for Dillon Brooks. Brooks spins. Posts up. Foul. And the Blues move back up. Braden Shen gets caught up by Dylan Sandberg. And the Blues trying to take control, but rushing back here is Winnipeg with Nikolai Ehlers. Drop pass off. One-timer! One up high. Jets keep it in. Nobody at the swat. It's Falk. Brooks shooting 2 here. St. Louis fires this one inside onto the near corner where Sundqvist picks it up. Exhausted Jets here. Looking to set up in front onto the far half boards as Brooks made one. Set up at the near corner. Now back onto the right point. Amon Thompson checks back in. Here is Buchnevich who drops it off. And this is deflected wide. Philip Broberg. Jets survive a scare here. And now 2-on-2. They come back. Drop pass off. This is Ehlers. Ehlers fires it off of Bennington as Brooks made both. Kick back out to the right point. Deep shot. Bennington stopped it. And the Warriors slowing the action down. Podziemski taking it across. All the way back onto center ice with the Jets. Take it up. And Podziemski slowing the action down at the logo. Podziemski trying to find an open lane. VanVleet stays with him. And a whistle with 5:57 to go on the Rockets season. Bennington places one out to the near corner. Parayko can't get this one to an open teammate. The puck comes out to center. This is bounced up onto the far half boards. And is retrieved by the Blues. Toropchenko is forced wide to the far half boards. Toropchenko is tied up, wanting to deliver this down. Luke Shen cuts out the pass. The fourth quarter, Curry's averaged 4.4 points per game in the first 6 games. Podziemski kicks it out to Curry. Curry trying to freeze his space up. Delivers it out left corner. Podziemski bounced up and out. And this almost was put back onto the Rockets' own goal off of Jalen Green. Here's VanVleet, who drives up. VanVleet delivers it out for Jalen, who pulls up. Jalen Green inside. There's a foul there. And Şengün will head to the line again. We are 3:36 into the second overtime. Jets on a defensive zone faceoff. It's Draymond Green getting another foul against him. The count right now, Draymond has taken 4 fouls, not counting the technical he's taken earlier. Jets trying to dig it free. It's Niederreiter. Brights it free for Velarde. Velarde to the right point. Now back for Sandberg. Şengün's first shot missed as it rolled out. Deep shot. Bennington was there, and he covers up an opportunity for Niederreiter. Nearly 4 minutes gone here in the second overtime. Still tied at 3 apiece. Bennington has turned away 38 of 41. Goaltending has been excellent for the Blues. And Bennington gobbles up that rebound. No open space on the mellow shot. And Draymond wants some words with Dillon Brooks. The 2 pests going at it. Or as they say in the NHL, the 2 rats, because of Brad Marchand being a rat in the NHL. Thomas wins the Queen face-off. He fired a shot off the post in double overtime that led to the Patrick Maroon double overtime winner. Şengün roll down the second one. He's 0 for 2. And this comes back to the point with Nemestikov. Just trying to keep it. The Blues will take it away. Podziemski starts up from the logo. Brandon Podziemski fired wide from Sundqvist. Perfetti takes it up and fires this one free. Up at the far wing, it is Jimmy Butler with Curry setting a screen. Butler, he'll set up for Draymond Green from in tight. Not a shot he wanted to take. And now moving back is VanVleet. Fred VanVleet trying to find open space. Dillon Brooks trying to call for it. Gets it. Nathan Walker's all the way back. Now all the far half boards. Şengün delivers for Brooks. He's double teamed. Brooks pumps. And then for the free throw line, knocks it. 4:45 to play. Rockets with an 8. Brooks playing tight defense. And Steph Curry wants to get up the far side. And does. He's in the zone. Adam Lowry backhands it up front. Parayko has to evade several attackers. And a whistle here. And here's Kyle Connor moving in. Connor around Fowler. Kyle Connor wants to go around, backhands one deep. Good defense by the Blues, but it's held inside by the Jets. Hayden Fleury from the point. Rink wide, and it's delivered down deep from a sharp angle, now behind the net. Setting up in front is Appleton, and this gets dispossessed. The Blues go back with this, north of 5 minutes gone here in double overtime. That one's cut off. Warriors get inbounded for Jimmy. On the right point is Nick Leddy. Over to the point, this deep shot hit off Hellebuck and is directed onto the far corner by Barron. It is Podziemski with 2, swung it open for Draymond again. This one bounced out again. So they forced Draymond into taking 3-point shots. That's not his type of game here when he's covered in tight. VanVleet trying to find open room here with 13 to shoot. All of a sudden the Rockets are there. Şengün to the inside, off the window, it stayed out. It is Jimmy Butler, no field goals in the last 3:43. Butler gets by a defense. Butler towards the paint and lays it up. 3:50 to play. Jimmy Butler is right there. The Jets can't hold the zone. It is Dylan Sandberg taking it away. And back come the Blues. Chance to hit it here for Jimmy Snuggerud. Poked away. And then back inside. This gets deflected twice. Buddy Hield may have an open look. Yes, he does. Well, there was a scuffle at the end of it. As Justin Falk will grab it up. This layup will not count. Broberg for the far side. There was a commotion right behind the play. Nearly 7 minutes gone here in double overtime. Blues and Jets still tied at 3. Back towards the point. Here's Cam Fowler's shot. Stopped by Hellebuck. That was the biggest one he needed to make. Held inside on a one-timer. Hellebuck in trouble. Directed out to the near half boards. Pride free. And this comes for DeMello. And on the right side, this gets fired all the way towards the blue zone. Midway through, Sundqvist directs inside. Pass is cut off. Backhander. Hellebuck with the big save on Matthew Joseph. They're reviewing the play for a foul to determine what it is. But Jimmy Snuggerud had a chance to end it, but a good poke by Neil Pionk to deny Snuggerud of a walk-in chance. Nerves here at a high as Jimmy Butler gets taken down behind the play. I don't know if that's what type of foul it is, what criteria it meets. So far, the Blues have been more active to this puck in double overtime. Hellebuck makes it another save, this time on Justin Falk. It's the fourth time that Hellebuck has played a game past the first overtime in the playoffs. In such games, he's 1-2. On the double overtime winners, he's allowed goals to Craig Smith. He has allowed goals to Kevin Fiala and Michael Amadio. Fred VanVleet wrapped up Jimmy Butler behind the play. That's what nullified this basket from Hield and some wards afterwards. Picking it back up is Pionk. He moves it around the net. In his own zone as the Jets will move it up. This one almost gloved down. The Jets out shooting the Blues 42-28. Blues trying to enter inside the zone but can't. Fired it back inside to right behind the play. VanVleet sitting down. This review still going on for a while. Fans chanting Jordan here at Canada Life Center. Fired from the outside by Pionk and is collected at the near corner by Parayko. It is bounced off of Walker with Niederreiter hounding him. Finds the open option in Parayko, held inside by Sandberg, and it fluttered wide. Barron releases one inside, nobody behind the crease. It is Parayko. Moved it up over to Torpchenko and is glided up at the near half boards. Velarde is all the way back. It's 2 shots for Golden State. Free throws. And it's grabbed up. Nino Niederreiter retreats all the way back. Hits 68-44 Jets. Up at the far side, this is Luke Shen who goes back with this. Creeping up at one of the longest games in Game 7 NHL history. Walking the point, delivered backwards. Here's Luke Shen with shot. Bounced up and around. Namestnikov delivers it over to the near side for Ehlers. Tight shot. Didn't go there. Butler's first free throw's good. And on the right point, all the way back for Luke Shen. Hayden Fleury will float one through. Pass is nearly intercepted. Still in control with this one. Fleury lost it, but holds his zone. Ryan Suter ties up his man behind it as Namestnikov, who brought the Jets within 1 with less than 2 minutes to go as Butler is 2 for 2. At the top of the right circle, quick shot. Knocks out to Bennington, rebounds free, and cleared out by the Blues. And they'll get their line changes going. Move up to the near side for Ehlers. Ehlers spins around. Warriors keep possession in the final 3:33. Held inside the right point. It goes all the way out for DeMello. Podziemski leaves it over at the logo. Back at his own zone is Piot. Across for DeMello, who gets ran over. Oh my goodness, as there's another basket from the Warriors, is Jimmy Butler, who's come alive here in this fourth quarter. 20 points, 7 of 13 shooting, 8 rebounds. Up the near side, this bounced up and onto the Winnipeg zone. Another foul here. Midway through the second overtime, up there at the fourth longest overtime playoff game in NHL Game 7 history. Falk delivers it back. Here's Broberg. Wants to move it aside, and it's cleared out. Blues trying to set up something here. Inbounding against Brett VanVleet. This one poked away for Şengün. Close stop, and there's another steal. It's Steph Curry. The Warriors' big names are coming alive here. And disaster may be averted here for Golden State. Icing here against the Blues. Curry, shake and bake, deep three on the way. Yes, sir! Wardell! Warriors by 17 on the points, and the points off turnovers, 18 for Golden State. Thompson can't answer back as Şengün trying to get the handle, but can't. Curry comes away with it. Curry down the far side. Steph Curry trying to find the open look. Left corner. Delivers. And the Warriors on a 12-0 run the last 125. Buddy Hield on a tear as fans are going for the exits now. The Warriors showing them experience on their side. Vintage Curry and vintage Jimmy. And a brilliant night for Golden State. So we're staying with you here between the Blues and Jets. They are tied at 3 still in double overtime as it's Şengün with one on the layup with 2:10 to go. And Steph Curry will move around. Curry swinging one for Draymond. Draymond Green on the right side. Looking for options. There's Buddy Hield. Hield at the free throw line. Over to Draymond. Jimmy Butler, Washington tight by Dylan Brooks. Spins around. Kicks out. Draymond, a free. Bounced out. And while the Rockets, good season for them. And it's going to be a season that they'll learn from down in the future. No matter what happens here, Şengün knocks down a free because... wow. Yeah, it's a free point for him. The Rockets trying to intentionally foul. It's a good season for the Rockets, nonetheless. Nothing to be ashamed of here, nonetheless. And while the season may be over at this point, they'll be back here. We'll be back. Draymond Green. And showing the camera. Timeout here. In the midst of it, 94-79. Warriors leading. And at this halfway mark of double overtime. 9:32 to go. If this passes the 8:55 mark, if this passes the 8:55 mark of the second overtime, it'll be the third longest Game 7 in NHL history. The last time a Game 7 went to double overtime, it involved the Blues. They beat the Stars 2-1 on a goal by Pat Maroon. Face-off is won by the Blues, but it's a tie-up at the near half boards. Keeping it inside is Lowry. On the opposite side, Neil Pionk swipes at it. Delivered over to the far corner on this chip pass. It is Kyle Connor protecting the puck. Slides it over to Lowry. Lowry is tied up by Fowler right behind that. Frees up space for Iafallo. Back to the left point is Sandberg. Across is Pionk who tees one up. And as Binnington dared to cover this one up. He's been spectacular. Curry is saving his best for last. And even though he was as cold early, he's turned on the Jets here in the second half of Game 7. 41 saves on 44 shots faced tonight for Binnington. The Warriors get open here as they go all the way out. Thompson right in on Curry as fans were at the exits. Curry buoyed here not letting this one go, and now an intentional foul. Blues coming back with this one as it's dumped in. Jake Neighbors at the near corner. Neighbors delivers this one back over to Justin Falk, who waits. Falk takes one up, and then takes a block in front. That was Brandon Tanev, who sacrificed his body. And this one loose over the quarters. Bounced up. Nathan Walker there. And this is gonna be a foul against Golden State as Thompson going back. And this shot was stopped by Hellebuck over the far side. This is now officially the third longest overtime game in Game 7 NHL history. Rockets within 13, but it doesn't matter much. Freed up space over to Draymond. That's the exclamation point. 8 minutes to go here in double overtime. We have not seen a triple overtime, let alone a quadruple overtime Game 7 since the Easter epic. Deep three on the way. That's good from the Rockets. And another whistle here for a timeout. 58.7 to go here in this fourth quarter. And Tanev took one for the team. Brandon Tanev, who's keeping his poise here. 8:13 to go. He's on the bench. 10 hits, 4 blocks. He's been active all throughout the ice. Tie up ferociously to make its way outside the circle. Blues keep it. DeMello trying to scoot around. From the far corner, Dylan Sandberg cuts it off. From the near half boards, gobbled up into the air, and the Jets, they get something with Perfetti. No, they won't, as it's Fowler who cuts that one off. On the near quarter, moved up for Kyrou is 98-86, 45.5 as both teams exchange looks. The Blues back with this over the right point. Here's the pass, and then right center up front. There's an open net, but it's swatted away by Velarde. Excellent defense right in time for the Jets. It would have been a surefire goal. And here's Buchnevich. There's a Jet to break that pass up, and it's cleared down by Niederreiter. Broberg all the way back. 45.5 to go here between the Warriors and Rockets before the Warriors move on to the second round. Niederreiter takes it inside, gets met by Broberg. Niederreiter still on the hold. Blues move it out. It'll be free throws. One is made. And then back inside is Shen. Right in Shen. They're back by Pionk as he's all the way back. Up at the far half boards, it's the Blues. Grab a hold of it, broken stick onto the ice. Forced all the way back to the left point. Are the Blues. Now keeping it is Parayko. Down inside, at that near corner, he's tied up. Curry's second free throw, good. What else is new? 186 the scoreline. Snuggerud. With Niederreiter on his face, VanVleet is Şengün. Şengün going down the lane. Şengün quickly, second effort doesn't go. Tapped out by Draymond. 6:35 to go in the second overtime as this is fired in deep. Lowry is the first one back. Third longest Game 7 in NHL history. Moving up the far side is Alex Iafallo. Chance to end it here. Gets driven behind by Fowler. And it's delivered over to near corner. Poke free. And Lowry rushes to the puck. 23 seconds to go. As the Warriors want to run out time. They will. Here's Buddy Hield. There's another one. Went back inside. It's Lowry. Lowry on the drop pass. And this is fed for Sandberg. Deep shot. Loose to the front. And it gets back to the far corner. There was a loose stick there. And it goes all the way back. 103-89. That's going to be the final score, we believe. It's Podziemski. And it's going to be an 8-second violation. And so possession will go back to the Rockets. The Golden State Warriors will face the Minnesota Timberwolves. Here's Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers sent him at the front. This bounced off of a blue. Perfetti keeps it inside, but he's tied up by Falk. And all sorts of smiles among the Warriors' side. From the near corner, settled down by Hayden Fleury. Moved up front to Perfetti and then rink wide. He gets a feed right back. Perfetti to Niederreiter. A clapper kicked out by Binnington. Binnington's been sharp here in this second overtime and in the first overtime. Rink wide across. Not a lot of shots here. In double overtime as Hellebuck will play this one out. Hellebuck, 26-29, as Fleury moves it up to the far side. The Jets trying to cycle this one up front. Takes a bounce and it's collected by Morgan Barron. Barron, corner to corner. This one almost flipped up to the right point, but grabbed by the Blues here. They got numbers here. 3 on 3. They flip it in. And Thorpchenko tried to whack it on goal. Couldn't do so. From the near half boards, it's a tie-up on the battle. Drive free by Barron. Moving up front. And this is Barron blowing by the defense. Barron, short side. Didn't miss by much. And for the far half boards. This bounces up. Collected by Sundqvist. Sundqvist As the stars have all checked out here for Houston. Dylan DeMello. Pack is kept in by the Blues, but it's picked up by Lowry. Adam Lowry moving up the far side of the ice. Lowry moving across. Lowry. There was a forehand shot, didn't go there as it's bounced up. Sundqvist picks up this rebound, but he's tied up at the far corner. Swept free out to the right point. Cross ice for Hayden Fleury. Fleury takes one up and bounce, and it's wide. As the Golden State Warriors advance to the second round, we'll switch over feeds now. So the Warriors keep going perfect 5 for 5 against the Rockets in the playoffs. Walking to poise, a deep shot. Score! Score! The Winnipeg Jets have won it! A miracle!
Let's go. Well, I was wrong, y'all. I was wrong. Yeah. That's amazing.
They end the third longest Game 7 in NHL history. In emphatic fashion, it's a miracle at Manitoba. The Winnipeg Jets will draw the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference semifinals on the flexion in front, and it's Adam Lowry. So a slapper that went intentionally wide for Kyle Connor as he drives back to the point. A fake shot and the presence in front, Lowry. Getting the deflection from Neil Pionk inside. What a shot, and the handshake lines here. That's the loudest cheer at Canada Life Center ever. So as the Warriors win 103-89, the Jets pull up a comeback for the ages. After trailing 3-1, entering the final 2 minutes of regulation, they win it 4-3 in double overtime. It was the third longest game in NHL history in a Game 7, shy at the first ever Game 7 in NHL history, and an Easter epic. This is the miracle at Manitoba. This game might have just saved the Winnipeg Jets franchise. What a game between these two. Ho, ho, ho. I'm happy to have covered both games here. Thanks so long for sticking on the rest of the way, Owen. Oh my gosh. What a night.
Wow. From 3-1 down. That is insane. Every single game won by the home team. The Jets will have to do something about that in the second round, because Dallas ain't letting that slide. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that's going to be tough there in that second round matchup, but nonetheless, should be in for an entertainer. Anything else before we wrap this up, Owen?
No, I think that is all from me.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Alongside Raed and Owen, I am Alec saying so long for both Houston and Winnipeg. Good night.